What's up, duelists? Your boy is back, and I've got a very special video for you guys today. No, I'm not talking about what is immediately on the screen right in front of you. Ignore that in its entirety. I've got all of GBO's Flamvell tournament matches from DDV, last weekend's major online tournament, and we are going to go over all of those replays together, checking out how Flamvell does up against the meta. First things first, these are the RBET dates for all the ones that are set in stone. You can find links for them in the description below if you want to participate in RBET, aka really big Edison tournament. These are going to be the biggest Edison tournaments all year. Total banger events. You don't want to miss out on them. Check out the links in the description below. Really big Yu-Gi-Oh Discord for the online ones. Then follow the sign-up sheet for the New York sign-ups. Prizes are going to be crazy. New Maryland date coming soon, so we don't have the overlap with the NAWCQ, and of course still working on that SoCal date as well, but those should be coming shortly. All right, let's get into the tournament matches. We got the first match of his tournament run. Now, I want to say this up front. GBO was very kind and said, you know, like you can use these for content, so just want to say super big thank you to GBO. He also did say that he was not playing his best in these replays, so I'm going to try to give him, like, you know, I'm going to try to give him the benefit of the doubt, not freak out too much if I see a crazy misplay. But, you know, we're going to try to be analytic here. We're going to try to be objective, because I think reflecting on replays is one of the best ways that we can get better at this game. It's one of the reasons why DB is a useful tool at all. It's one of the reasons why I like filming matches. It's one of the reasons why I like watching coverage, that type of stuff. It's because you can learn a lot from other people's mistakes, basically. So let's get right into things. This is his first tournament match against Duck Tracy. Both powerful players, both RBET topping duelists. And it looks like GBO is going to win the rock, paper, scissors. Now, immediately upon looking at his hand, the way I'm thinking about playing this hand is probably pass. Literally just pass. Why? Because I want to bluff Gores, and I want to bluff Heavy Storm. If I bluff Heavy Storm, my opponent may only set one back row, meaning I can resolve Space Typhoon, right? That's pretty good. Alternatively, we could go set Flamvell Magician, set Book of Moon, or just set Book of Moon. But just set Book of Moon, I don't know. You might convince your opponent to set two back row, and that's where things get a little complicated. I do like holding the Magician. It is a combo with your brain control. I do like waiting on the Fire Dog or trying to get a face-down monster set up so your Fire Dog can resolve. And I do like holding the D-Prison until there's something worth D-Prisoning, and holding the Typhoon to kind of make your opponent fear Heavy Storm at the very least. On Duck Tracy's side, he's got a very strong hand. He's got Elemental Hero Stratos, he's got Swap Frog, and he's got 1-for-1. So a lot of potential here. I think the best play from Duck Tracy is going to be normal summon that Stratos, search a hero, 1-for-1 out Substitute, pitch special swap, possibly even bounce the Stratos, go for the big dupe lock. Additionally, he might want to do something slightly different depending on his draw. We shall see. Looks like GBO is going to go with set Magician, set D-Prison. So I don't really like this play because if you think about it, like, if your opponent summons a monster and attacks your Flamvell Magician, you're kind of priced into deprisoning that monster, whether or not you really want to. So let's say your opponent summons something like, I don't know, a Stratos, or a Machina Gear Frame, or a Swap Frog, or something like that. You're kind of forced to deprison that so you don't just lose your Flamvell Magician. And your brain control without that Flamvell Magician in hand is looking quite bad. So I think holding the Flamvell Magician, or holding the deprison, or holding both, is definitely a better opening play. Anyway, 1-for-1 is going to pitch Treeborn Frog. He's going to go for 1-for-1 first. This is a misplay, because if the back row is Torrential, then if you summon Stratos or Swap Frog and he chains Torrential, you don't get to empty any frogs out of your deck. So this is a straight up mistake from Duck Tracy as well. So both players, you know, round one of the tournament, just waking up. Maybe it's a different time zone for them. Maybe who fucking knows. But they're both making a little bit of, I think, not the tightest play. He's going to 1-for-1 bring out that Substitute, pitching the Treeborn Frog. Yeah, definitely would have liked to summon the Stratos first. Definitely would have liked to summon the Swap Frog first, whichever one you wanted to summon. I personally would have gone for the full combo and just said, fuck it, you don't have Torrential. But you definitely want to summon these first because now Torrential is just absolutely terrible for you. Anyway, there is no Torrential, so looks like Sub-Zero is going to activate. Stratos is not going to get summoned. No searches are going to happen here. That's going to be sack the Swap Frog, bounce the Swap Frog. Really interesting choice not to attack with the Swap Frog into the set monster. I feel like that's, like, honestly good. Because if your opponent has, let's say, a set Raikou, you kind of want to flip it now so they can't Caius you on their turn. There's really no downside to attacking the set monster. You can force Mirror Force, you can force Deep Prison with the Swap Frog. I think Duck Tracy played this turn, honestly, as poorly as you possibly could have. Gonna normal summon the Dupe Frog. Here comes Flip Flamvell Magician, and even though GBO kind of started off awkwardly, where he almost like punted away his brain control, a nice Rekindling top deck here is going to put him in a crushing position. So he's going to normal summon the Fire Dog, brain control the Substoad. I'm assuming make Catastor, attack over, main phase 2, make Thought Ruler Archfiend. That's what I would do. Thought Ruler Archfiend versus Frogs is the best thing you can do. It's basically deterrent from Soul Exchange, deterrent from enemy controller, deterrent from brain control. Cards that they play large numbers of, usually. And also, a lot of Frog decks nowadays are playing multiple copies of Regeki Break, multiple copies of Phoenix Wing Wind Blast. Some players are even playing upwards of the full 3 of each of those. So I think that making Thought Ruler Archfiend is the most conclusive. Clearly, your opponent doesn't have Heavy Storm. They didn't Heavy Storm your back row last turn, so making something like Stardust is kind of silly, and making something like Colossal is just infinitely worse than making the Thought Ruler because you expose yourself to, like I said, the enemy controller, etc. He's going to go ahead and synchro into Catastor, attack over the Dupe Frog, grab that Flamvell Magician. Either way, he's posturing for a very big turn next turn with a Rekindling for 3. He's going to search Unifrog, so he elected not to go for the Unifrog attack direct, or the Unifrog Dupe Frog combo. Yeah, definitely because Unifrog is in Duck Tracy's deck, he just fumbled the bag that last turn. That's going to cost him the game. Honestly, you make mistakes like that, you're going to lose. Like, that's just what's going to happen. All the decks in Edison format are so aggressive right now. You start making, like, sloppy plays like that, you're going to fall apart. He's going to make Stardust Dragon. Again, I don't think this is the best play. I think Stardust Dragon is significantly worse here to make than Thought Ruler Archfiend. Generally speaking, Thought Ruler's better. I know you want to set 3 and just be like, have Heavy Storm or whatever, but he didn't have it last turn. And he searched Unifrog, so that's like even bigger tell he doesn't have it. And you have Deep Prison for the Unifrog anyway, so yeah, I don't know. Treeborn Frog comes out. Stratos is going to search the Soul Exchange, but it's not going to be enough here. Game's over. He's going to pitch Special Swap, bounce Stratos, but we got double Rekindling, so we're going next ASAP. Yeah. So Flamvell, not typically a fast deck, but when you have Mind Control or Brain Control plus Magician, the deck is capable of putting up some crazy stuff pretty fast. Those are usually the fastest draws from the deck, though, when you have the Steel spells. Other than that, the Flamvell deck is normally typically really, really slow. You play 9 flip effect monsters, like 3 Hamster, 3 Spy, 3 Raikou. You play more normal summons than any other deck in the format, almost entirely normal summons in game 1. I think maybe 1 Gores, maybe 1 Chaos Sorcerer. Hold up, guys, I got a cough. Sorry about that, I'm back. And because your deck is so slow, usually Frogs rips it apart, but Duck Tracy kind of fumbling through that opening sequence, not really getting his stuff going, not really getting that Regeki Break set when he absolutely needed it, not really attacking into that Flamvell Magician, letting his opponent get ahead on board, letting his opponent take advantage of having that extra normal summon to work with, cost him the game, simply. When you're playing Frogs, you have to understand that you're starting every game at 1 turn disadvantage, basically, of tempo, because you have to take 1 turn to set up your Treeborn Frog. So for the rest of the game, from turn 1, you are playing behind a normal summon. So if you give your opponent another turn on top of that 1 normal summon that you've already given them, you're going to be 2 turns behind. And when you're 2 turns behind, it makes it difficult even sometimes for, a stream of Monarchs to get you back into the game. So I really think that that if you're playing Frogs, you have to be really cognizant of your tempo, like really cognizant of where you're at with regards to the normal summon, where your opponent's at with regards to their normal summon, how their board is looking, what they're threatening, what they're not threatening, that sort of thing. If you're not paying attention to that type of thing, you're playing a deck with no trap cards, or very few trap cards, so you're just going to get ripped apart, and it's going to be bad. Anyway, here comes Summon Stratos, search Malicious Guy, and gonna pass the turn. Draws Raikou. So yeah, Raikou Spy, you have so many flip effects in your deck, you can't really afford to side them all out. They're too integral to your composition, your deck comp. So your best plan is to side in a shit ton of Pulling the Rugs and just hope that they run a Monarch into the Pulling the Rug and you get a Flip Spy and attack for 2700 a couple times. And that's your best plan as Flamvell in the Frog Monarch matchup. That being said, Duck Tracy's forced to start on Stratos here, and this is why I think Flamvell's is actually pretty decent into the field right now. Because I think Flamvell's is really good versus Blackwings. I think Flamvell's is really good versus Value Turbo. And I think Flamvell's is like okay enough versus Heroes that because of the Stratos start, that if you start Fire Dog, you just get a free Stardust off their Stratos, and then all your rekindlings are live, which is awesome. That it's not a bad place to be in the current meta. Now, if more and more people started playing stuff like, I don't know, just faster decks, I think Blackwings probably gives this deck the most trouble. I think Blackwings is probably the hardest matchup for Flamvells. Blackwings and maybe Hero Beat. Frogs is pretty tough. I'm not gonna lie, Frogs is like the regular Frog Monarchs. That's a really bad matchup for Flamvells because, like I said, it's normally just a very slow deck. And Frogs is also a slow deck because they start a turn behind and it's like entirely normal summons. But their normal summons out your normal summons, and so it's just kind of like this like infinite loss situation where it's really hard to pull ahead without your purple cards. Sticking. He's going to be able to grab his Flamvell Magician. The hand from Duck Tracy is not something I envy. You don't have to attack with this Magician here, but you can. Honestly, I don't think it's like a good attack. Because next turn, you can just like, I don't know, I guess you can make Colossal here. I'm trying to think if there's a reason not to attack. You don't really want to give the Frog player time. So getting the chip damage does end up mattering. And you've got the Pulling the Rug for the subsequent Monarch, and you've got the Dust Shoot, so you can like take at least 2 Monarchs out with your trap cards. The only thing that would be really bad here is, you know, he drops Gores, right? And then he has like Typhoon for your Pulling the Rug, and he has 2 Monarchs. But he would need a specific combination of 4 cards, Gores, 2 Monarchs, Typhoon, to play through that setup. So I don't think attacking here is too bad. I don't know if I would have done it, but thinking about it now, probably a decent enough play. He's going to attack for 14. He's going to Synchro into Colossal Fighter. He's going to set 2. His opponent's going to draw Treeborn Frog. So that's a pretty good draw. That's going to get his engine online, turn on the Miracle, as well as turn on the Frog part of his life. Dust Shoot's going to take a look at the hands, and I think I would take Treeborn here. Yeah, it looks like he's going to take Treeborn. This is a really smart play from GBO. It's a little bit telegraphing, but it's also a really smart play. He recognizes that with the Colossal Fighter, he's not really breaking through this Gores super fast. He's got a couple of flip effect monsters. They're kind of slower. He's not really in the best position. He's got 1 Pulling the Rug, but a second Monarch is going to set him back into the Stone Ages. So at this point, what he needs to do is make sure Duck Tracy doesn't get his engine going. Because if Duck Tracy gets his engine going in a slowed out game state, the player who's getting the extra +1 every single turn is going to dominate. So I think this is a really good choice from GBO. He's going to sack for Ryza. That's going to be met with the most obvious Pulling the Rug. You kind of have to go for it. Unfortunately, there really isn't anything else you could do. Yeah, you kind of just have to go for it. Draw for turn is Rekindling, which is a very nice draw. Looks like he's going to summon Gale. And, yeah, that seems good. So he halves the Gores, brings back Fire Dog. Yeah, Fire Dog over the Gores, grab Magician, and that's game because he knows the hand. So, really solid showing from the Flamvell deck here. Resolving Fire Dog on turn 1 and then Rekindling on turn 2 is naturally very good. What can you ask for? Literally, what more can you ask for? It's kind of the perfect setup for this type of deck. It kind of shows how this deck, even though it's a little bit slower to get going, the second you get that Fire Dog connection and you have that Rekindling, this deck looks like a tier 1 deck. But obviously the consistency of that sort of thing happening is not guaranteed by any means. It's a little bit easier to do versus the deck that is summoning Stratos and setting nothing. But we'll see how he does in the future rounds. So, yeah, pretty solid start to the tournament. GBO starts off at 1-0, defeating powerful duelist Duck Tracy. So, good shit. All right, next game. Next game's up against Chill Phil. Everybody knows Chill Phil if you watch the channel. Very powerful duelist. Multiple tops. I believe he topped that huge tournament in Germany, if I remember correctly. Usually plays Blackwings. Sometimes he plays Christia Sworn. So we'll see which one he is on. I feel like Christia Sworn is probably an okay matchup. I don't know. That's tough. Depends on if you're going first or not. Hold up, I gotta cough one more time. Okay, yeah, looks like he's on Blackwings. Looks like he's on actually hybrid Blackwings with Upstart Goblin. We've actually been doing a lot of testing of hybrid Blackwings behind the scenes, preparing for the Ultimate Time Wizard at YCS Las Vegas, which, if you are going to this weekend, make sure you say hi to your boy. I will be there. I will be playing in the main event, but I will likely scrub out of the main event, let's be honest. I've put a lot of time into testing for it, and it's a tier 0 format, so it is what it is. I'm going to show up with a deck that I think is fun, and I'm going to have a good time, and I'm hopefully going to get a couple wins for my team before we're hitting the old dusty trail, you know what I'm saying? But if you do see me at the event in between rounds, I'd love to say hi. I'd love to meet you guys. A lot of players are going to be there. I think large amount of YCS winners are going. Previous YCS winners are going to play in that the 3v3. Anyway, Upstart Goblin, we've been testing a lot, preparing for the Ultimate Time Wizard. I've been preparing a lot of my friends for the Ultimate Time Wizard. And we have found in our extensive testing of hybrid Blackwings, which I do believe to be one of the best decks in the format, Upstart Goblin is bad. And I legitimately think that it costs you more games than it... Even though it is really hard to understand what it adds to the deck, because it's really hard to quantify the slight consistency boost, we've played enough games where the life points have mattered within 300, 400 testing matches where it's like, this card matters way more than it doesn't. And so I think there are better options as well. There are cards like Mind Control that people are cutting for Upstart Goblin that I think is just insane. It's like you're cutting good cards to play Upstart Goblin. It's not like there's, this lack of really insane cards you can play in hybrid Blackwings. That being said, it does mean you will start with Black Whirlwind more often, but the reason you play the Dark Grepher stuff is A, so you can find those 8,000 point kills more often, and B, so you don't have to have just the Whirlwind being your nut start. You can also have Grepher Vayu or Grepher Sirocco be a nut start. So since you have essentially 6 nut starts instead of the average 2, you don't really need Upstart, and then Upstart fucks with your Grepher Sirocco math. Anyway, he is going second. Opening hand from GBO is Spy Raikou, and this is something that not a lot of people will know because these types of Flamvell decks are not very common, but in these instances, you should always set Spy first. Just always. Because you want to get your Descendant or your Spies out of the deck before Raikou mills them. Not only because you don't want to mill them, but also because it thins your deck to potentially mill Flamvells for your Rekindling. That and Gravekeeper Spy's pop is delayed. So, let's say your opponent summons Goblin Zombie, right? And they attack your Raikou. Goblin Zombie's obviously an example where it's bad for they attack the Raikou. But, imagine any fucking monster in the format. Imagine Alias, imagine Stratos, imagine whatever monster, Shura. And they attack into Gravekeeper Spy. You get that Gravekeeper's Descendant out of your deck, right? Now, your opponent is stuck with a weird choice. Do I set a back row now? Or do I wait yet another turn? Do I fall behind even further on board? That's the decision you give them with. Now, if you set Raikou first, and your opponent summons, their average opener, they attack into the Raikou, you pop their opener, usually at a disadvantage. You sometimes mill not the cards you want to mill because your deck is still 34 cards. It's just not as ideal of an opening situation. So, looks like he's going to mess up. Basically, set the Raikou, set the bottomless. Now what I would do is I would just set the Spy and probably still set the bottomless. But I would consider set nothing as well because we do have that Heavy Storm, or possibly even set the Heavy Storm. But most likely I'm going set Spy, set bottomless here. I think that's just the most casual play. Not casual play, but like, it's the most natural play, I should say. It's the most play that they feed into each other a little bit better. I think a lot of people don't take enough time in their opening sequence to really understand what the card does for the game. Like, what does this Raikou mean? What does this Gravekeeper Spy mean? Gravekeeper Spy acts as a pseudo Cold Wave. Buys you a turn from your opponent, setting a back row that's not chainable. Raikou acts as a high value removal spell and a potential setup for your Rekindling. You want to save the high value removal spell for later. You might want to use the Cold Wave to gain some tempo initiative early. I think that with this hand, that's what makes the most sense. And generally speaking, when you have Spy Raikou, it makes more sense to set the Spy first. Upstart Goblin's going to get played. He's going to find Vayu, Blackwing Vayu, the Emblem of Honor. And as you can see, there's a couple of options here. He could Typhoon, normal summon Vayu, attack. Not a bad play. He could Typhoon, normal summon Sirocco, attack. Also not a bad play. Setting up for Sirocco running into Raikou, and then Greffer being able to pitch Vayu, send Vayu is actually incredibly strong. And both of those plays are incredibly bad for the person who set the Raikou. I'm not sure what Chillphil's going to choose to do, but I know what I would do. It'd be Mystical, normal Sirocco, attack the set. Looks like he's got the same idea as me. Looks like Chillphil knows his deck. Alright, Sirocco's going to attack into the Raikou. Raikou's going to pop the Sirocco. And you can't be happier if you're Chillphil. On the flip side, GBO can't even speak dud. He dud mill a Flamvell Magician. He did mill a Flamvell Magician. So, never punished for the slight missequencing. But, generally speaking, not great. He's going to draw into Caius the Shadow Monarch. So, you'll notice this hand has like a couple of lines of sequencing. But, I like just set Gravekeeper Spy. I think that that's the best play. Set anything else is obviously terrible because you have Heavy Storm. Going for the Synchro into the back row is kind of silly, especially when your opponent, could potentially be on Vayu Turbo. Usually they don't see Upstart and Vayu Turbo. In Hybrid Blackwings, let's just say they have Greffer Vayu, whatever follow-up that made them want to spend their Sirocco like that. Maybe another Sirocco. I don't fucking know. Just set the Gravekeeper Spy and pass. It's clearly the best play. Now, setting Heavy Storm here is fucking terrible because if he has, like, any monster and this is Icarus attack, you just lose your Spy completely. What the fuck? Like, that is just not where you want to be. Anyway, Chillphil gonna set up that big Vayu graveyard. Really, really handling the opening smoothly. He's gonna summon out Blackwing Armed Wing. The attack with the Armed Wing. Oh, he's just gonna go for the Icarus. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. Doesn't want to play into Mirror Force. Wants to get at least 4,200 points of damage in this turn. Hold up double Kalute, potentially for the lethal on the next turn. Yeah, so setting the Heavy Storm there, I want to say actively bad. I want to say 100% a mistake. I want to say not what you want to do at all. And once again, I'm being kind of harsh, obviously, but I do really appreciate GBO contributing these replays for learning experience. And I'm taking stuff away from this. I'm learning stuff from this because I'm sure there's going to be things that I don't see in these matches. But yeah, definitely setting Heavy Storm there is inarguably bad. He's going to bring out the Armor Master. Pro Storm only works when your opponent has nothing set. When they have something set, you're risking your Storm too much. Alright, Dark Greffer and Armor Master are going to attack skis. It's going to be 4,200. Now the draw is Gale. So looking at this hand, we're going to break it down. And I think what people should be doing more is looking ahead a couple of moves. If I play this card now, what's left over in my hand? Sometimes it's nice to what I'll do is if I'm playing physically, I'll flip one of the cards in my hand upside down if I'm going to play it. And it'll help me visualize exactly what my hand's going to look like after I play that card. And it'll help me kind of see the future in a way. If you're playing online, maybe take a couple of your fingers, cover up that card on the screen, and try to imagine the future a little bit. It'll help you plan out your plays a little bit better. Nice little physical tactic to help you visualize what lies ahead. Now with this hand, I like a couple of different things. It really does depend on GBO's extra deck. We don't have his list. I'm sure if he wants to comment with his list or some shit. I don't fucking know. We'll see it. We'll see it eventually. He'll post it in the Discord, probably. Maybe I'll get it and play a video with it or something. It looks like your average Flamvell list. It's not like there's really anything going on here that is super duper crazy. But if he does have Armor Master in his extra deck, what I'm thinking here is actually Brain Control, Grepher, normal Gale, have the Armor Master, synchro into your own Armor Master, and then attack over the Armor Master. And that leaves you actually with quite a nice follow-up, which is Rekindling plus Caius. I think that that's pretty solid. Alternatively, you could Brain Control the Armor Master, sack for Caius, and then have Rekindling Gale, but that doesn't really add up that nicely. Once again, if you cover up the cards in your hand, you'll see, well, Rekindling gets me a tuner, Gale gets me a tuner, but two tuners together doesn't really get you anywhere in Edison format outside of Gotems, which obviously you can't make with Gale and Magician. So, Brain Control and Caius, you kind of want to split those cards up because they pay off with your cards separately. Brain Control pays off with Gale, Rekindling pays off with Caius. I think that's the best way to pay off. Now, if he doesn't have Armor Master in his extra deck, that does complicate things a fair bit. I think having Gale in your deck and not having Armor Master in your extra deck is... What are you doing? Like, that doesn't make sense to me. But if you don't have your own Armor Master, then the best play might end up being Rekindling now, sack for Caius, banish the Armor Master, attack over the Grepher. And I think that that's the best play now, because it banishes the Armor Master for the third value. It plays around Kalut, which your opponent definitely plays because he's playing hybrid Blackwings. You see the Icarus, you see the upstarts. You can assume it is hybrid Blackwings. So I think that is probably the play if you don't have Armor Master. Now, if you do have Armor Master, I like Brain Control, have the Armor Master, synchro with the Dark Grepher into your own Armor Master and attacking with the Armor Master. I think that plays the best. Looks like he's going to Brain Control the Grepher, Rekindling back Flamvell Magician, and synchro into Thought Ruler Archfiend. So this play is terrible for a lot of reasons. If you look at the hand, Gale, Caius, these cards don't add up together. They don't add up to a power play. Your Caius is now just a dead card. Your Gale, maybe it can do something, but whatever. And Thought Ruler Archfiend here, come on, man. You never played against Blackwings before? They got Kalut. You gotta play around it. Seems like a throw, like a galactic throw. This immediately loses the game on the spot. If you're going for an 8-star, which is a misplay to begin with, then you have to go for Colossal Fighter to play around Kalut. But, yeah, this immediately loses the game on the spot. He's going to normal summon Gale, have the Armor Master, and, alright, you know what? Kind of hangs in there. For a turn. You still got this dead Caius, but you got to turn to top deck of Flamvell Magician, maybe. Or not Magician, sorry. Flamvell Fire Dog. Possibly a flip effect monster could be okay here for you at stabilizing. But I feel like GBO has played this game pretty poorly from the start. And it's not like he's made anything that's like, oh my gosh, set Raikou, that's a terrible play. You know what I mean? It's not like glaringly obvious a terrible play, but it's just like all these little mistakes, they add up to a lot. And if you think about the position he would have versus the position he has now, towards the end of the game here, the position he would have had he made like one or two of those plays in a little bit better of a fashion, like maybe held his Heavy Storm, or maybe like, you know, even used the Heavy Storm. Fucking, I don't know, man. He would just be crushing this game. It would like not even be close. So it's the difference between playing a game on tight margins versus Blackwings and playing a game where it doesn't feel like you're playing the same decks. Anyway, he's going to normal the Kalut. It's better than using the one-shot on the Kalut. And he's going to connect with the Armor Master as well. Set the Royal Oppression. That's going to shut down future Rekindlings. But not much else. I mean, the Flamvell deck doesn't really special summon, like I mentioned. He's going to draw D-Prison. Not quite good enough. Going to pass the turn back. Elects not to summon the Gale into potential Torrential or Mirror Force. I like that. You know. Save the Gale. Attack with the Armor Master. Now, if you're GBO, you should have de-prisoned the Kalut, but maybe he was scared of Book of Moon. I'm not really sure. Normal summon Gale, synchro into Armed Wing, and that synchro play is gonna get Chill Phil the game here because Fire Dog was top decked, but Fire Dog is not gonna be able to get over Blackwing Armed Wing, And even if GBO top deck a flip effect monster, then Blackwing Armwing would be able to pierce it because GBO is at 50 life points. So a totally winnable game from GBO. Absolutely totally winnable. I think 3 or 4 critical errors, just and you get punished. And I think Chill Phil, the opposite of which, played this game exceptionally well. I think every time he had the opportunity to make a good play, he did. And that's that. Anyway, Chill Phil, I also really liked how he looked ahead in that game, where he looked at like, oh, if my Sirocco dies here, I can go value, send value, and that gives me a lot of grave resources to work with. I really liked that that sequencing from him. It was really nice. GBO does get to go first in this game. He's going to open up with Flamvell Firedog, Magician, Rekindling, Deep Prison, and Bottomless Trap Hole. Now, this is actually a hand where I do like committing the Magician to play. However, I don't like setting it. I do like summoning it here. If you're scared of Brain Control or Mind Control, that's okay. Because everything that they can make gets broken up by Deep Prison or Bottomless, right? So Brain Control, Mind Control being gone is also good for you later in the game when you want to go for your big 8 stars and just hope that they stick. So I think normal summoning Flamvell Magician is actually a great way to bait Brain Control, Mind Control. I think that normal summon Flamvell Magician pairs exceptionally well with set Bottomless Trap Hole, because everything that could attack over Flamvell Magician would get hit by Bottomless Trap Hole. So it's a nice little situation there. And then on top of that, like normal summon Flamvell Magician is, if your opponent does have something that gets under Bottomless Trap Hole, let's say like a Kalut or a Blizzard or a Gale, with Whirlwind, like let's say that's their only play, then they can't actually attack over the Magician unless it's the Gale. And then you're forcing the use of the Gale early on, which is favorable for you. Whereas if they just have that weak monster and they attack, even Vayu can attack over a set Magician. It's just not a good vibe. Yeah, see, I don't like this play. I think summoning the Magician is definitely better. He's going to set, probably looking to go for Icarus attack in the draw phase. And things are going to work out for GBO because the Icarus attack hitting the Magician is excellent. Now, it looks like he didn't go for the Icarus attack in the draw phase, so the obvious play is just flip Magician attack. I mean, you're ahead of summon, so there's nothing you lose from flip Magician attack here. If he has Icarus attack, then Icarus pops your Magician, and you're just happy about that. If he uses a Deep Prison on your Flamvell Magician, you're even more happy about that because it's a Deep Prison that's not getting used on your Fire Dog. And let's say Flamvell Magician attacks, and it's like a Snowman Eater, God forbid, like some crazy sideboard Jujutsu Master or something. Well, then you know about it. You know, at least Snowman Eater's popping your Magician, and then next turn, it's like not popping your Fire Dog, basically, or popping your Caius, or popping your stronger monsters. So I think that flip Flamvell Magician, very natural play here, attacking the set monster. Looks like he's not going to do that. He's going to sack for Caius. This is just a terrible play. This is like a day one mistake into Icarus attack. I mean, like, let's get 3 for 2'd. Try not to get 3 for 2'd by Icarus attack while misplaying Challenge Impossible. Yeah, that's tough. Yeah, that's pretty clearly the wrong play. I mean, even Bottomless there is like still pretty bad for you. Solemn Judgment's bad for you. Fucking Skill Drain if he plays it. I don't know, deck dev. Like, I'm just trying to think of like all the situations that punish Caius. I think there's like, what 2 back row could he set that don't punish you going for Caius there? What 2 back row could he set? I don't know, Space Typhoon? Maybe? I don't know. I literally, like, what's the other one? Mirror Force? Space Typhoon Mirror Force? Leaving in Mirror Force versus Flamvell, not a card I like to keep in. I'll get into that, I'm sure, later on when we see Mirror Force against the Flamvell deck, and I'll point out why it's bad. Anyway, Whirlwind gets activated, Blizzy gets summoned. That's going to search out a Vayu. Pardon me, folks. He's going to bring out another Vayu from the graveyard, so just kind of like posturing like he's about to do something. He attacks for 1,300. Brain Control. Insane draw. Insane in the Brain Control. Normal summon Fire Dog. Fire Dog does eat these bad boys up for breakfast. I think you can attack the Blizzard fairly safely, actually. because if he had Kalut, he would have summoned that instead, I think. You could also attack the Vayu. I mean, it's like the same, but attacking the Blizzard kind of cucks his follow-up. Looks like he's going to go after the Vayu. Yeah, I was thinking like if he had Kalut, he would have summoned it. So it's likely he just doesn't have Kalut. Fire Dog's going to bring out Magician. Magician is going to attack the Blizzard. It's the same thing, but you miss some damage, I guess, and play worse into Kalut. This is probably safer. There's a chance he held the Kalut. I don't see why, but, you know, there's a chance. Anyway, he's going to Synchro into Stardust. That's going to be met with Royal Oppression. So, brutal. Brutal. Hard -1. Passes the turn back. Here comes Shura, Black Whirlwind, Search, Bora. Search Bora. The fuck? You don't have Kalut. And he knows you don't have Kalut. What? Am I missing something here? I gotta be... Hold it. He knows you don't have Kalut because he didn't use it last turn on the Flamvell Magician. But maybe, just maybe, he thinks you've been sandbagging Kalut because you wanted him to attack over your Blizzard so he would Synchro Summon into your Royal Oppression. That's just so, like, convoluted. I feel like he knows you don't have Kalut. And he knows that Shura was the draw for turn because if you had Shura last turn, you would have for sure summoned that over the Blizzard. So I feel like you have to search Kalut. There's just too much that fucks this shit up. Anyway, attacks for 18. Draw for turn is Torrential Tribute. Fire Dog, yeah, see, didn't search the Kalut, so now you're just losing the Shura for no reason. That would have been like, I think that would have been the game. If you had searched Kalut there, I think Chillfill would have immediately won. Straight up. As it stands, this game is going to go back and forth. GBO still needs to top deck something to deal with that Royal Oppression, but he is kind of in the lead. And he's applying a lot of pressure here, to be fair. And now he's got, like, you know, Deep Prison, Transfer for removal. He's going to pass. Here comes Spora. Finally searching that Kalut. Well, you can't really attack. You kind of just have to set the Deep Prison and pass. If you attack, like, the summon went through, so it's not Bottomless. The summon went through, so it's not Solemn. The summon went through, so it's probably Deep Prison or Mirror Force. It could possibly be Space Typhoon, Dust Tornado, that type of thing. But realistically, could be a Starlight Road. Realistically, at least one of them is a Deep Prison at this point because the summon went through. So it just rules out too much. Yeah, there's like potential for 3 Deep Prisons and what's that card? Mirror Force. Now, if it's Book of Moon, you're fucked either way. But he would have booked on the normal summon, so you know it's not Book of Moon. No, this is just bad if he attacks. Yeah. I knew he was going to. When you play Black Wings, there's only one thing on your mind, and it's attack. And in some instances, when it would win you the position, possibly even win you the game. Yeah. I mean, obviously, Brain Control Rekindling is going to be lethal either way. Actually, no, maybe it's not. Let's see. If he goes Brain Control the Bora, Rekindling, pay 8. Synchro with the Bora, pay 8. Attack for 19, Deep Prison. Maybe he attacks before synchroing. He goes Bora, Magician attack. And then, no, maybe he Deep Prisons a Magician. Maybe you go Bora, then Fire Dog attack, then Magician attack to force the Deep Prison. I mean, he'll Deep Prison the Magician either way. Yeah, I think if you don't attack, you're absolutely fine and you just win. So, pretty silly. Pretty silly throw there from Chillfill. Not a good play. Draws Raikou, attacks with the Magician, attacks with the Fire Dog. It's going to be Deep Prison, set the Raikou pass. Raikou's going to pop the Oppression, then you're going to win the game. So, he did draw the out. Here comes Whirlwind, Search Vayu. Unfortunately, Chillfill's own Oppression actually doing quite a bit of damage to himself. Have the Magician run it over. You got a lot of options here. I think even with Typhoon, that's a lot of options. Yeah, I mean, find lethal. It's not hard. All right, pops the Oppression, Rekindling, Synchro, Brain Control, and we're going to game 3. So, couple of mistakes, I think, on Chill Phil's part that game, actually. I think he played that game slightly worse than GBO did. And I think in these types of matchups, the skill really comes in. Like, your ability to plan ahead, your ability to kind of see what's going on, your ability to assess the game state, definitely something that factors in here. Looks like a lot of players are on a lot of Dust Tornadoes. From Chill Phil, the play I like the most with this hand is... Let me take a second to think here. I think it's set Dust Tornado Pass. Because, like, if your opponent's opener is a flip effect monster, it keeps you the most open. Alternatively, if the flip effect monster is, let's say it's like Hamster or Spy, so 66% of the flip effect monsters, and he doesn't set a back row, are you then capable of setting the Royal Oppression and getting absolutely owned by Heavy Storm? Maybe. That's tough. Oh yeah, I think I was going to mention, Mirror Force versus Flamvells. It's bad. The reason it's bad, because the only time they attack you is when it's Fire Dog, and Fire Dog going to the graveyard is good for them. And then on top of that, if they're attacking you with other stuff, it's always with Stardust backup. Almost always. Like, they'll make Stardust before attacking to your back row. So it's like usually a dead card, usually suboptimal. They have Rykos, they have Spy, Pop, they have Caius. They just have so many ways to invalidate Mirror Force. And the fact that Mirror Force is most often getting used on like a shitty opener like Card Trooper or Fire Dog, something like that that's going to come back. I think it's generally a great sideboard card out against these types of 9 flip effect Flamvell style decks. It's a liability for sure. Deep Prison at least will banish the Card Trooper, banish the Fire Dog, banish the Stardust. So it has a lot more application and it helps cut them from their engine. But Mirror Force it's just not great in this matchup. Anyway, sets Dust, so it looks like he assessed the situation like I did. Yeah, you don't want to shut off your own Sirocco. You don't really want to play into Heavy Storm. You don't really want to play into just like lone set monster. If GBO sets his own back row, you can end phase Dust, set your Oppression off of it, and kind of be set up to do some shit. Anyway, sets Dust. The Dusts are going to trade. He could choose to set the Oppression here, but there's no reason to. Anyway, here comes Dark Grepher. Dark Grepher pitch the Sirocco and make Armed Wing. Now, you do kind of have to be careful about Gores, kind of, but you have Mirror Force, so it's not the end of the world. He's going to attack for 4,000. Now, at this point, pardon me, if I am Chill Phil, I'm setting probably 2 of these cards. And I think the 2 I'm going to set are Royal Oppression and Mirror Force. Mirror Force now, because it's worse, like, the worst case scenario for you is Heavy Storm, right? If Heavy Storm happens and you've set your Deep Prison, then he's going to go Flamvell Fire Dog over Grepher, make Stardust, and then you're left with a Mirror Force. Once again, cover up those cards in the hand and see how they look, right? But if you cover up the Mirror Force and the Royal Oppression, even in the worst case scenario where it's like Heavy Storm, run over the Grepher, make Stardust, you still have the Deep Prison to answer it. So I do like setting Oppression, setting Force. You could also make an argument for just setting Force, but then that plays into both Typhoon and Heavy Storm, whereas setting Oppression, setting Force only plays into one of them. So, yeah, he's going to attack for 4,000. GBO is going to drop to 4K, and he is only going to set 1. So, yes, I do dislike setting 1, and I also exceptionally dislike setting Deep Prison. Now, that being said, if he did have Typhoon, Heavy Storm, he could run over the Grepher, make Stardust, and then on the next turn you could Mirror Force plus Oppression the Stardust. But it's just not ideal. I'll say it, it's not ideal. Anyway, now the play here from GBO is clearly not summon Fire Dog. It's clearly set Spy and set some number of your back row. Maybe you're afraid of Icarus attack. Understandable. It's kind of been owning you because you've been playing into it. The first 16 games of this set. No, I'm just kidding. Just the first game. But in the sense that it is Icarus attack, right? Like, let's say it is Icarus. would he not just Icarus the whole board away? You know what I mean? I guess that's pretty good for you. I guess you take that. I just feel like you're assuming it's Icarus when you have no reason to assume that. Like, you haven't seen enough cards to be like, oh, the back row is Icarus. You know? I don't know. Anyway, Fire Dog's going to attack. It's going to be met with Deep Prison. GBO's forced to book here just to stay alive. He's actually, like, pretty close to dead, life total-wise. He's going to set 3 and just hope his opponent doesn't have Heavy Storm. So a little bit of a Prage moment, and it's going to pay off. There's no Heavy Storm there from Chill Phil. So, yeah. Summons Zabora, special summons Zabora, I should say. Attacks with the Bora to try and pierce. Here comes Mirror Force. Solid 2-for-1 from GBO. I think switching the Armed Wing to defense normally would be terrible, but he does have that Deck Devastation Virus and then Mirror Force to defend it. And I think if you're Chill Phil, it's pretty safe to set 3 at this point. So that's what he's going to do, I'm assuming. Yep. End-phase Blind Dust, hitting the Mirror Force. Pretty lucky. Draw for turn is Rekindling. He's going to attack. Here comes the Deck Dev. That's going to hit the Spy, reveal the Rekindling. He's going to attack directly for 1900. That's turn 1 on Deck Dev. Draw for turn is Kalute. Draw for turn is second Fire Dog. Normal that. Beat that ass. 3,800 points of damage. I wish I drew Fire Dog as much as GBO did. He's going to normal summon Gale. Gale have the Fire Dog. Run over the Fire Dog. That's going to be met with Book of Moon. No, I guess he's not going to attack. Now he chooses not to attack. That's funny. Goes ahead and attacks. There's the Kalute. This Fire Dog can attack over with Book. He can grab out a Flamvell Magician. And then he can attack directly for 1400. Main phase 2, Synchronous Stardust Dragon, Thought Ruler Archfiend. And this is an incredible punt here. I don't know why GBO is so horny for Thought Ruler Archfiend versus Black Wings. He doesn't do anything. It like literally doesn't do anything. Like just at this point, you have to make Colossal, right? Because the only thing you know he plays is, I guess you know he plays Deep Prison, but one's already gone. You know he plays Brain Control, and you know he plays Blizzy, and you know he plays Kalute. So I feel like making Thought Ruler is just like kind of shitty. You also know he plays Bottomless. I mean, Bottomless is going to get you either way, but because there's at least 3 Blizzy left, which just is Goyo, steal your Thought Ruler, get fucked. And then, because he plays, I don't know. That's a tough one. I think I would definitely go for the Colossal, though. I feel like I'd be more afraid of Blizzy than the 1 Brain Control. Because that's what you're afraid of here, is the 1 Brain Control. Anyway, Chill Phil not going to find the out. And he made the correct play. A lot of you guys are probably going to be in the comments like, why didn't Chill Phil Royal Oppression the Thought Ruler? Because if he top decks Blizzard, he immediately wins the game. And he was 1 draw away from hitting it, so pretty close. Pretty close. Really, really close game. That was a close set. I think some questionable plays on both sides. Some interesting stuff, but at the end of the day, the life totals, they can catch up to you. Those few turns where Chill Phil took those 1900s from the Fire Dog. Man, 1900 is a lot of pressure, especially when you need those life points to pay for Royal Oppression. Deck Devastation Virus, quite a suboptimal choice. I mean, you're kind of forced to side it in because the flip effects can give you such a headache early in the game. But later in the game, when you're looking down a Stardust or you're looking down a Caius, you're looking at your deck dev like wishing it was any other card. And that's the issue with deck dev in this format, is it answers the openers, but it's not always live in time for the openers. So sometimes you'll have deck dev when it's time for the closers. And yeah, not going to be enough. All right, moving on to the next game. Plus, it is important to know that Chill Phil did know about the Rekindling thanks to that deck dev. So had he negated the Thought Ruler, he drops to 100, and then GGBO can just Rekindling out any monster and lock Chill Phil under his own oppression. So flipping it there actually would have been a concession. All right, next match is GBO versus Face. All right. GBO wins the rock, paper, scissors again. Very fortunate with winning the rock, paper, scissors. This time he's starting off with hamster D-prison. The classic. Passes the turn back. Looks like opponent's just going to pass the turn as well, so maybe possibly a brick. Let's go ahead and take a look at the opponent's hand, see what he's up to. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. So, in my group testing, obviously a lot of my friends are preparing for the Ultimate Time Wizard, so we've been playing a lot of decks. We've come to the conclusion that Beckoning Light is a good card, and Judgment Dragon is also a good card. However, I don't really like Bottomless Trap Hole or Heavy Storm in the main deck of Lightsworn. I know that sounds weird. I know it sounds kind of crazy, but like so few decks main deck Skill Drain. And that's like really the only reason you need Heavy Storm in Lightsworn for game 1. Otherwise, you just want a lot of millers. You just want a lot of ways to start milling. If you have hands where you don't mill, then you've lost. It's just games where you lose. And look how dead this hand is, right? And look how scared he is to set his own Bottomless into a potential Raikou. It's like you have this Bottomless, but you can't even set it in your dead hands. If you're adding cards like Bottomless to your deck, they should be cards that improve your bad hands. Bottomless Trap Hole here, if you're looking at it, is a card he can't even play because it would make his bad hand worse into a Raikou. So I feel as though, what was I saying? You want to focus on other cards. I think in pure Lightsworn, cards like Tragodia, Gores, cards that are going to improve your bad hands. Cards that are going to make your bad hands live. Possibly even Upstart Goblin, Allure of Darkness, Gold Sarcophagus, in some cases Monster Reincarnation, Foolish Burial, that type of thing. You want cards that are going to take these hands where you've got multiple Celestia, multiple JD, that type of shit, maybe even Beckoning Lights, whatever. You want to take those hands and say, what can I contribute to my worst hands to improve them? Improving the floor of the deck is really important. So, yeah. That's just from our testing with our group. We found that siding Heavy Storm is a little bit more effective in Lightsworn. Anyway, Nimble Mega Hamster is going to grab the Raikou. Attacks for 1100. Sets another hamster, passes. Here comes Heavy Storm. So he's posturing to attack the Raikou with the Honest and set the Bottomless Trap Hole. I think that that's a pretty solid play. Just keep the Raikou off your back. Kind of figure out what your opponent's doing. You've cleared the back row, so the attack's definitely going to go through. This Honest isn't really getting you anywhere anyway. You could also make the argument for setting the Honest, but then you risk it getting popped by another Raikou or potentially a Caius. I think just Honest trading with the Raikou is your best bet here. Once again, you need to get that Bottomless Trap Hole down, and I think you need to clear the Raikou in order to do that. He's going to Heavy Storm and pass. So possibly Smiles has such a bad hand that they don't want to show GBO what they're on. That being said, this is an online tournament, so by around, what is this, round 3? Maybe he still doesn't know. Maybe GBO still doesn't know what you're playing. Hamster's going to grab another Raikou. Now you can do a bunch of different things here. Summon Magician gets you to Synchro Access, which isn't bad. You can make Stardust, back it up with Bottomless. Yeah, fuck it. I think this is pretty good. 1400. Make Starbucks. Set the back row. Pass a turn. There comes another Beckoning Light. Jesus Christ. Take some of those bricks out of your deck, man. As you can see, Bottomless Trap Hole, card you add for defense, right? What is the purpose of defense? To help you survive. Did it help him survive? No. Very clearly no. If anything, I'd say opt for D-Prison. If not Bottomless. Anyway. Going into game 2. D-Prison, a card that I think actually shines quite a bit in Lightsworn. For a number of reasons. Defending your monster on the attack from anything. Like, let's say I have my own Raikou, even, and I attack into your Raikou. Now your Celestia is a dead card in your hand. Smiles has got a fucking Wolf in his hand, which is terrible. He's got DD Crow in his hand, which is not a good card versus Flamvell. As much as you might think it's a good card versus Flamvell, it's not a good card versus Flamvell. Possibly, you can snipe a Rekindling, but realistically, let's be honest. You're losing to that first Stardust plus the back row if it ever happens. DD Crow can hit the Stardust, which I guess is an argument for it, but God damn, this hand is bad. Lightsworn kind of gets beat the fuck up by Flamvell. I think this might be one of Flamvell's best matchups. Just because of your ease of access to Stardust Dragon and back row. Anyway, when you're playing the flip monster mirror, going second with the flip effect is always awkward because you're just you're conceding a lot. And that's why I hate Flamvell as a deck, because just going second versus any other Raikou deck feels like a nightmare. That being said, if you do end up finding Fire Dog, if they flip the Raikou, pop your Raikou, they have this face-up Raikou just chilling there, and if they don't convert it, then your Fire Dog can eat it, turn it into a Stardust. So there's counterplay. It's just you have to find Fire Dog for that. So I don't know. Anyway, sets the Spy, passes. Ironically, now he makes the decision to set the Spy when it's the card that can get popped by the Raikou. That's pretty funny. So Raikou's going to pop this motherfucker, and let's see what he's got. He milled another Crow and a Cyber Dragon and an Aaron. Yeah, it makes sense. Kind of. Cyber Dragon helps you play into flips. Lumina, pitch Wolf, probably bring out Jane. Wait, you can't do that. Pitch Jane, bring out Jane. That way you mill 5. I like milling 5. You need to get a Necro Gardener. You need to hit a Plague. You need to hit some good shit, you know? I think going for Wolf, it's like not as good because you're not milling. At this stage in the game, you just need to mill. You need to hit another Wolf. You need to fucking hit a Necro Gardener. You need to hit Plague. You need to hit whatever else your deck is intending to hit. JD names. Or JD, so that if you top deck Beckoning, you have something to actually get back. Smile's not really understanding what it is his deck is supposed to do. 300 damage here or there is not going to change the game. Anyway, 1,000 first is actually the correct attack order. Because if they have Gores, then and they want to drop it on the weaker attack, that means you get the bigger, weaker attack in first. Or the middle attack, I should say. 2,100 connects. End phase mills 3. Yeah, it's not quite getting there. Deepers in the draw. It's not a great draw, but not a bad one. Here comes Brain Control, taking the Wolf. Interesting decisions. Caius can banish the Lumina. And you could attack into the Raikou. Now you could defend this with Honest to set up for your Celestial and some back row. That's pretty good. And it looks like that's what Smiles is going to do. I don't know. Yeah, I guess it makes sense. Set, pass. Draws another Wolf, so had he summoned the Jane, he would have milled that. Pretty unfortunate. Pretty big misplay, honestly. Here comes Celestia, but that's going to be met with Solemn Judgment. That might be a game-losing misplay, not going for the Jane there. Anyway, yeah, with these Wolf builds, there's really no reason not to just mill as much as possible and just go crazy. Because, like, you want to have the most stacked graveyard, and you have so many effects that, like the difference between milling 3 and milling 6 when you want to get, like, little pluses off Necro or Wolf or whatever is, like, so huge. Like, imagine if I said you, I don't know, it's, if you have 3, it's, you get the statistics. I'm not going to get into it. Anyway, he's just going to set Raikou pass. Here comes JD. Priority blow up, and that's just going to be bailed out of jail. Ironically, Jane here is not going to be enough to get the job done, but he would have been slightly stronger had he gone for the Jane first, but then he would have also had the Wolf in play, and there's this whole fucking cascade of things. And phase mills too. Deep Prison, he's got Gale, he's going to have the monster, he's going to run it over, and then Smiles is all of a sudden fucking somehow not able to take the last 50 life points. Set the Deep Prison, obviously pass the turn back. There's a Celestia, here comes 2,700. Gores is gone, there's no Necro, just fucking shove. And pray your opponent can only summon 1 card. He finally sees Recharge halfway into his deck. That's like some Keegan luck, honestly. Draws into Fossil Dino, which is a terrible card to side against. Just terrible card to side against Flamvell. Like, it is so bad. Like, this card is genuinely, like, dude, their shittest monster runs this over. Their worst monster runs over Fossil Dino. This card is not sticking around. It's not helping you clear their Synchro Monster, because the Synchro Monster they're making is Stardust. The only time this would ever be good is if you, like, bait the Stardust somehow without using your normal, then normal the Dyna to lock it from coming back. But then they just dog run over your Dyna and they make another Stardust and you're back at square one, but you wasted your resources. So I really don't like this. I think that this is a mistake. Big mistake. Sets the Dyna. Gale attacks, Magician attacks. Like I said, their worst monster runs it over, so, like, it's not that good. Solar Recharge is going to be the play. Going to pitch. Drops to mill 2. He's got Wolf coming back, so finally hitting the Wolf. Finally getting some luck. Wolf is going to be met with nothing. Here comes Heavy Storm. Book chained on the Wolf, so really strong Book of Moon here. And then Charge of Light Brigade. Does he have another target? Yes, but he fucking milled it. That is hilarious. Oh my god. Unlucky, but honestly kind of deserved for siding in the Dyna. And not just like having a better monster. So that's the right go. Attacks. That's going to pop the Magician. Should probably pop the Gale. Bro sided in multiple Dynas and left in the Hamsters versus Flamvell? Huh? What? I'm sorry. That ain't right. That's so fucked. That's so fucked. At the last minute, he top decks the second JD for the Cold Wave JD. Damn. Close game one. Close game one. A lot of decisions here and there, but whatever. Oh, game two. Sorry. Felt like a game one. The way I saw Dynas in when they shouldn't have been and Hamsters in when they shouldn't have been. Kappa. Hand looks great from GBO. Smiles' hand looks unironically garbage. What the fuck are you doing playing Book of Eclipse in Edison format? Also, how is he 2-0 at this point? Playing Book of Eclipse and siding like this. That is ungodly. Anyway. Holy shit. I get serotonin rushes seeing these two cards in combination. I get like a dopamine hit. I'm like, holy fuck. Like it's like a brain rush. I'm like, oh my god, yes. Yes, crush shoot. To the point where I like low-key want to main these in every deck, even though it's like not optimal or good. Just because of that small chance of opening both where you're just like, and you're just like a little fucking opiate addict and you're just like going crazy. And you're like fucking, you're just getting that good fucking crush shoot straight into your veins and you're just like, oh my god, that's that good shit. You know what I mean? Anyway, fucking Card Trooper mills 3. Common Card Trooper L, I guess. Sets Book of Moon 2. Awkward sequencing. Definitely should have milled before setting anything. Here comes the Dust Shoot. Dust Shoot is going to take the Raikou. Or the JD. Most likely the Raikou, though. And then Mind Crush is going to take possibly Honest. Yeah, if he takes Raikou Honest, I just don't fucking see however Smiles is winning this game. In fact, I think he is definitely losing. On the spot. Mind Crush take Honest. And yeah, looks like he had the same ideas. Set Plague, Mill 3, normal Fire Dog. Pfft. Come on, man. At least set the Book of Eclipse. At least pretend like it does something. Shit. He didn't even synchro. GBO BM didn't even make Stardust Dragon. That is fucking rude. That is fucking rude. He wanted to get more value out of his Fire Dog. That is rude. Holy crap. Anyway, set the fucking Book of Eclipse. Draws DD Crow. It doesn't even matter at this point. It doesn't even matter. Just take your fucking self-hand loop. Literally, Book of Eclipse is like the reverse hand loop. It's like Morphing Jar, but just for my opponent. It's like, no, please, you draw 5. Please, you get the +5. I don't need a play. You can have it. You can have it. Jesus. I don't think I've ever seen a Flamvell deck this ahead. Brutal. If you want to crow something that's a Lightsworn name, you would do it now before the Arcus is flipped, because you can no longer crow the Lightsworns after Arcus is flipped. But I think he's probably just saving it for Plague. Book this Spy in the M phase. Not a terrible play at all. Here comes the Plague. There's the Crow. Attacks the Fire Dog. There he goes. M phase mills 2. Dude. Get this fuck ass Dyna shit out of your deck. Man. Oh, that's the one he stacked with Plague. Okay, I thought he had 2. Still. Oh my gosh. That's so fucked up. That's so fucked up. Please make Colossal. Oh, he knows the last card in here. Never mind. Jesus Christ. That was a hard watch. That was a hard watch. Let's go next. All right, so game 4, round 4, GBO said he got a round loss because he was eating a sandwich or something. So this is round 5. He's 3-1. And he wins rock, paper, scissors again. God damn. I wish I was this lucky. Holy fuck. What is his opponent playing? Let's take a look. Looks like Black Wings. So we got the Raikou and the Deep Prison. Set, summon nothing. Huh. Well. I'm curious, does he hold the Dust Shoot then? Probably not. I would though, because I'm a greedy son of a bitch. Yeah, he doesn't. So the clear take here is probably... Let me look at this situation. Let me analyze this situation. It's probably either Fire Dog or Caius. Because Caius fucks you. And Fire Dog, dude, this hand just insta loses to Fire Dog. Yeah, no. Actually, I think the take is for sure Fire Dog. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think it's the take is absolutely Fire Dog. Because if you leave him with Fire Dog, it will beat you immediately. Like you Mirror Force it, and once again, Mirror Force against Flamvell, it's not great because he's coming back, and then it's beating you again, and then it's beating you again. You know what I mean? Like, so it's not where you want to be. Yeah, Trap Dust Shoot. I think take the Fire Dog for sure. He's gonna take the Card Trooper, so that's bad. And this is something I don't understand. Like, I feel like there's a thing in Yu-Gi-Oh, and I noticed this with some players who are like maybe less experienced or whatever. And it's like Trap Dust Shoot guilt, and that's like the only way I can describe it, because in some circumstances where if you just take like 5 seconds to think about it here, like, oh yeah, this Fire Dog is gonna fucking destroy my hand. Like, I have nothing for this Fire Dog right now. You know what I mean? The Card Trooper, oh, that's Shura food. Oh, I'll be able to combo off of that hella easy and make an Armor Master to combo with my Vayu. You know what I mean? Like, do you not see this? The machinations here? Do you not see how this is unfolding? Do you feel me? But now the Fire Dog hits play and it's just like, well, fuck me, I lose. Instantly, immediately. The game is over. Right? And I feel like the only way you would ever make this mistake is if you felt so guilty about opening Trap Dust Shoot that you punted the game subconsciously. Like, it's like a weird feeling where like you feel like you don't deserve to win because you open Trap Dust Shoot and you're able to get this immeasurable advantage. That you feel compelled to choke. What the fuck are you doing taking Card Trooper there? I don't... What? Anyway, flip Raikou, target the Yada, so... he's going to get the Yada Plus, and he's going to find Kalut, so... There's an answer to that Fire Dog, but... 'Tis temporary, my friends, 'tis temporary. Mills 3 passes it. Oh, normal summons the Fire Dog. That's actually pretty good here. Tac. That is actually really good here, because that means Caius can come down next turn, pretty much guaranteed through most things. At this point, GBO should actually maybe not have attacked with the Fire Dog, because he could be playing a bunch of different things. He doesn't necessarily have to be playing Black Wings. He doesn't know what he's playing yet. All right, passes the turn back. Brain Control, not a bad draw. It doesn't really do anything with his hand, though. He needs to resolve the Shura for the Brain Control to do anything. And that's just not going to happen. So here comes Shura. Attacks the Raikou. Fucking D Prison, obvious. Set Mirror Force, pass. You know he has the Caius, right? At least set the Brain Control too. At least do something to try and... Okay. Yeah, I mean... You know he has this. You Dust Shooted him. I don't understand. I don't understand. At least make it a 50-50. At least make it difficult. At least make it a challenge. Oh, man. That's 43, and then Solemn stops the next play. And the game is over. Passes the turn back. Royal Oppression is the draw. Yeah, if you're GBO here, you just Solemn the normal and you win. Mirror Force is gone. Icarus is offline. You can't lose. You legitimately cannot lose the game if you just Solemn the first normal summon. The game is instantly won. Normal summons Bora. Thumbs up. What? I guess, okay, so he just ate, right? He just ate last round, so like his blood flow is like more towards his stomach, digesting the food, the brain's moving a little bit slower. This is why like I really try to keep meals light when playing tournaments, and I try to keep the blood moving because it keeps you sharp. You know what I mean? I'm going to just chalk this one up to he just ate, right? I'm going to chalk this one up to like a little bit of food coma, comatose brain, you know what I mean? But god damn, just Solemn the normal summon. The game ends immediately. Like, you win the game. You win the game immediately. Oh my gosh. There's the Kalut. Set the hammy, pass the turn back, attack the set. He wins the game anyway, but GBO says Vayu is the meta, Frogs beat Vayu, Blackwing beats Frog, Flamvell beats Blackwing. High IQ thinking. I feel like that's like the middle bell curve, because you could have just gone with Flamvell beats Vayu. Because that's what Flamvell actually beats, is Vayu. Flamvell doesn't beat Blackwings. I feel like it's very 50-50. Depending on how many noblemen have crossed out their siding or those types of things. And Blackwing does not beat Frogs. That is... I feel like that matchup is about as even as it gets. Well, maybe. No, yeah, I think that matchup's pretty even. Sideboarding helps Blackwings a lot. Here comes Whirlwind. Sure, a search. That's gonna grab Kalut. I think the remainder play here is to set the Dust Tornado. You have the Battle Trick and Kalut, so you don't need to set Compulsory Mirror Force. You actually kind of hold Compulsory because it's a way to answer a Resolve Stardust or a Resolve Synchro if he manages to stick one later in the game. Mirror Force versus Flamvells. Keck W. Yeah, you just set the Dust Tornado here. You want to snipe back row. You want to make sure your next summon comes through on the Whirlwind. So setting the Dust Tornado guarantees that, and just guarantees you that +1, which is what you need. So he's going to set the Compulsory and pass. So not the play I would have made, and actually I think the wrong play. Draws Book of Moon, that's great. That's a summon stop. Here comes set Hamster, set Deep Prison, set Book of Moon. I like this a lot. Dust Tornado would have hit one of these, securing a nice little play, either an attack or a summon, depending on how you wanted to approach this. But because he didn't set the Dust Tornado, it's like, what are you doing? End phase, Compulse the monster. What? He has 2 back row still. Like, you're just going -1 on the Compulse for no reason. Like, you're trying to, like, time walk him, I guess, but time walking your opponent only works when their only play is the normal summon. He made 2 other plays, too. And this could very easily be, like, a torrential that you've just made better for him. You know what I mean? Like, that Compulsory was just... We're just throwing away cards. We're just punting cards at this point. Terrible play. He's going to draw into Deep Prison. So, not a bad draw. It's going to protect your boys. I think if I was here... You could summon... Kalut, search Gale. Special to Gale. Doesn't really add up to much into 2 back row. There's really nothing you can do into 2 back row but attack. It just all becomes awkward because you didn't set the Dust Tornado on the last turn. Like, what are you doing with the Dust Tornado in your hand, you know? What are you doing giving his back row value while you have a Dust Tornado? Main phase 2, normal summon Kalut, but that's going to be met with the Book of Moon. And now there's no back row for the Dust Tornado to even hit. That's so awkward. And then he doesn't even set the Dust Tornado. You know he doesn't have heavy. What? Oh my gosh. He's just going to T-set. The draw is another Dimensional Prison, so it shit fuckload of battle traps. Like I said, Mirror Force against this deck is not... Like, Dimensional Prison is already, like, kind of mediocre because of all the flips. But at least Dimensional Prison can answer Stardust Fire Dog. Mirror Force just doesn't even do that. You're gonna flip the Kalute, set a card pass, and now Heavy Storm is found, so that's pretty fucking good. Interesting moment. Now, like I said in the last video or whatever, you could just Heavy Storm here, flip the guy, grab Raikou, normal Gale, and make Armor Master if you have Armor Master. But if he doesn't have Armor Master, then first off, go to your deck builder and add Armor Master. I mean, it came up twice in this tournament already. And then second off, I don't know if you have a great play here. I think you just kind of have to pass if you don't have Armor Master. Like, you could normal Gale have and try to run it over, try to bait something, but like that seems stupid when you have Heavy Storm to sweep anyway. So there's no need to bait back row when you can sweep before you go for the power play. So I think the plan here is to just like wait. If you don't have Armor Master. I legit don't think GBO has Armor Master in his extra deck. He should, though. If you have Gale and you have like flip monsters and shit like this and brain control, you should absolutely have Armor Master. It comes up so much. It's such a powerful synchro. It's like one of the most powerful synchros in the format, if not, like, it's like top 5 at least. Maybe not. Maybe like top 7. Let's see. Bryonic's the best. That's like a tie between like Stardust, Goyo, and Drill. And then Black Rose. Okay, those are probably top 5. Yeah, I mean, you can make an argument for Armor Master being 6, though. Like, you make a solid argument. I mean, Dark End's pretty strong, too. Catastrophe's pretty good. There's a lot of good synchros in the format. That might be a good video. Top ranking all the synchro monsters. I mean, it'd be obvious number 1, but yeah. Huh? Are we just both not playing the game now? Okay. He draws his own Dust Tornado. Still no action, though. 9 cards into the deck. Nothing really to get going here. You set the Dust. Okay, maybe you don't set the Dust. Another Whirlwind is found. That's a pretty good draw. You could activate that. Dust Tornado to the back row. And summon Kalute and get +2. Why the fuck not? But that seems pretty good. Yeah. Alright. It's happening. Why did he not search another Blizzard? Am I missing something? Isn't Blizzard better than Vayu in hand? I guess if he's going like Special Gale this turn, Synchro into Bryonic. Is he going to do that? Is he just going to go fuck it, Bryonic Prey? Wow, he is. I don't know. Yeah. I guess it's not even a 2-turn clock, and you run out of cards by the end of next turn, so yeah, I don't know if I like this. It's not terrible, but anyway, there comes the Heavy Storm. Here comes Gale, run over the Bryonic. Yeah. Yeah. 3 darks, though. Maybe you could top deck Dark Arm. Heavy Storm. Okay, that's pretty good. That'll clear the back row. Normal Blizzy, bring out Gale. Gale have the Gale. Synchro into Goyo, steal the Gale. Attack for 13. I wonder if he could have gone into Armed Wing instead. Main phase 2, synchroed into Stardust Dragon. Set both your back row, and then you also have the Vayu follow-up with your Armed Wing. I think that's better than this. I think this is worse. Why is this worse? I don't know. Heavy Storm's already gone, so it's kind of marginal. But Brain Control is now not great for you. Probably would be not very great for you either way, but... Oh, there it is. Speak of the devil. Gonna Brain Control the Goyo Guardian. Interesting. I would have considered brain controlling the Gale and going for the fuck it Black Rose because your hand is so fucking trash and you die to almost every single top deck in the game. But this is also okay, I guess. Attack the Gale, try to steal it back, Deep Prison. Yeah, see, like, the thing is like, what if he just lets that attack resolve? End phase, you just hand him back the Goyo Guardian. It's like, that's so bad. Like, you have no way to get this Goyo Guardian out of play. So it's like, what was the plan there? Just hoping he used a trap card on it? Like, what if he just didn't? Then you lose, I guess? I don't know. Interesting. Setting 3. Big bluffs. Attacks. Brings out the Raikou. In phase 2, halves the Hamster. Sacrifices for Cyber Dragon. Okay. Synchros into Stardust Dragon. So going into Stardust to try and negate this potential Raikou flip. But Deep Prison's a good draw from GBO that's going to answer the Stardust. There's Nobleman. Another insane top deck. So we've gotten into the classic Blackwing versus any other mid-range aggro deck top deck war. GBO has found him up a significant amount of cards. But 3 of those cards are completely dead. 15 cards into his deck, not seeing a single Flamvell. And honestly, not seeing very many monsters at all to begin with. Pretty insane to go 15 cards into your deck and only see, like, 6 monsters in a deck that I'm assuming plays a ton of monsters. There's Deep Prison. There's a Torrential. Torrential's pretty good. That's going to stop you from just fucking dying. There's the Torrential. Draw for turn is Caius. Draw for turn is Sirocco. Wow. Is he going to pull this one back? Set the Fire Dog. I like it. Play around Sirocco. Play around the card that potentially is dead in his hand. Lure of Darkness. Try to dig the Bora. Doesn't find it. Banishes the only monster. Sets Bottomless. Here comes Dust Tornado. Curious to see what he does. I do like Caius target the old set because you know it's not anything. Because of the way he played around. I don't know why you know it's not anything, but there's a reason you know why. Yeah, looks like he knows it too. He's been paying attention. More than I have, at least. Caius is going to banish that. It's going to trade with the Bottomless. Set the Deep Prison, or Dust Tornado. Sets that pass. Here comes End Phase Dust. No? No End Phase Dust? Oh, man, that's tough. That is tough. That is tough. That is tough. What if he draws it? What if those are Icarus? What if Icarus happens here? Oh my gosh. 3 Rekindlings. No Magician. He draws Sirocco. End Phase Dust. Or drop main phase Dust. Chain Dust. Flip Spy. Grab Descendant. Attack. Attack. Deep Prison the Descendant. Set the Book of Moon. Pass the turn back. Normal summon Sirocco. Book on the summon. What? What? Huh? 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 Book this Sirocco! Book this Sirocco! Book this Sirocco! What if he goes Special Bora? What? No. No. I don't believe it. I don't believe this. I don't believe this. Just book this Sirocco. Is Gale already gone? Yeah, I guess Gale's already gone. Maybe you don't book it on the attack, but... Or on the summon, but you at least book it on the attack, because then you put it face down, you rekindling back Fire Dog. Fire Dog runs over the Sirocco, you get Magician access. You make double 8. You make double 8. Bruh. This is so bad. Now if he has Kalut, you fucking lose. Oh my god, and your rekindlings still do nothing. Oh my god. That is so infuriating. Yeah, your Raikous are gone, brother. You got knocked. Oh my god. How do you punt that hard? What the fuck? The food coma match is real. Oh, this is why you can't have a big meal and miss round 3 or whatever. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I can't believe this is working. Bring out Magician. Magician attacks. Make 8. Make 8. Dude. What are you doing? What are you playing around Lightning Storm? My brother. Why is this in defense position? You have... Oh my god. Okay. Please punish this. Please draw something. You have a Blizzy and you have 3 Boras left. Maybe less Boras because this is a sideboarded game. Please punish this. This deserves to be punished. That's crazy. That's crazy. I can't believe that. I can't believe he went colossal in defense. All right, let's move on to the next match. Oh shit, this is the oh yeah, this one is round 6, I believe. And this one is interesting because they started playing the first game, but then a 2014 guy with the weird exclamation mark username, which I'll never understand, disconnected. So they're starting the match with GBO up a game, and they do sideboard. So, so this is a post-board game. 2014 is playing RBET, I think. And GBO is, he sided in the Cyber Dragons, obviously, for that. All right, sets the Snowman Eater, sets the Bottomless, passes a turn back, sets the Hamster, sets the Bottomless, and the D Prison passes a turn back. Normal summons Elemental Hero Ocean, attacks the Hamster. If the last match taught you guys anything, at least let it teach you that, you can be in tournament against, like, some stronger players, and everybody makes mistakes. Like, I make mistakes. You make mistakes. If you think you're a perfect player, you're fucking wrong. You know what I mean? Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody gets, like, nerves. Everybody gets fatigued. We're all human, right? So, while I am being, like, playing up the drama for this video and be like, oh my god, I can't believe he would punt the game like that. And while some misplays are definitely more obvious than others, just we've all made dumb plays in the past. I just want to throw that out there, like, just into the universe. It's best to be a little understanding. All right, Raiko's going to pop something. I'm not sure what. Actually, if I was 2014, I would have liked flipping the Snowman to pop this Hamster. Because as it stands, you're not getting through it, and you're risking the Raiko popping the Snowman Eater and you getting no value out of it. So I like the Snowman popping the Hamster. Just because, like, if you look at the hand, like, the Hamster is not leaving play anytime soon. Mills 3, sacks for Caius, hits the set monster. Yeah, and now there's just this extra body left over, which is problematic. I might have targeted the back row because you already hit the Bottomless. So it's possible that the other back row is like the D Prison or the Gemini Spark or the Starlight Road or whatever it is that you want to hit. And you don't really have... I guess you have Raiko to hit the back row. You're probably fine. Anyway, set. More blank cards. This is why I fucking hate RBET, is because you'll just not draw Alias and your deck doesn't do anything. And, like, you play enough Alias where you should draw it, technically, but, like, there are going to be games where you don't draw it, and when you don't draw it, your deck does nothing. So, yeah. Guy's going to attack. There's going to be a big Snowman pop. Set, pass. And there's the Alias. So, finally, he's online. Managed to survive to this point, which is pretty good for him. This can attack the Mega Hamster. Terrible D Prison. Most obvious Spark in the history of anything ever. I think you just let the hammy die. Yeah. Either that or... I guess if you D-Prison, you're hoping he hits the Space Typhoon. I don't know. I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments below about that one. I probably would not have D-Prisoned there. I probably would just let the hammy die. Flip the Raiko. Maybe target the old one. The old one's actually more likely to be Spark, even though it isn't. But yeah, maybe flip the Raiko, target one of the back row, and then act accordingly. Typhoon the other back row. Maybe sack for Cyber Dragon. Start punching. Could be a line. Maybe not. Draws Heavy Storm. It's a pretty good draw. Hits for 11. I don't hate hitting for 11 because, like, if this gets run over, at least it got you a little bit of chip damage, and the Cyber Dragon can come down to counter. Plus, you've got the Bottomless here for this Cyber Dragon. There's DD Warrior Lady. That's a pretty good counter, though. Yeah, it's a little tough. Passes a turn back, draws Dust Tornado. A lot of back row removal, but not a lot of action. No Rekindlings, no Flamvell monsters. Now, spies, that's the key card in this matchup, is Gravekeeper Spy. That's why they're forced to side shit like Gramble. That's why they're forced to spark pretty much every face down that they can. Special Cyber Dragon attacks the Warrior Lady. I don't hate this trade. Just because, I don't know. I just don't hate it. Sets Mirror Force, passes, grabs normal alias attack. Typhoon the back row. Why are we typhooning the back row start battle? Play around Solemn? Alright. I mean, that's tough. It's going to get you 2 for 1. Yeah. Plays around Solemn. Or he's trying to play around Solemn, but I have a feeling Solemn would have gotten used at some point. Possibly on the Caius, if that was the Solemn. So, I don't think there really was a need to Typhoon there. You could have waited on that, maybe. Maybe he just wanted Heavy Storm to be live. I don't fucking know. Mirror Force is going to hit. Torrential is going to get set. I would actually Torrential this, because this card beats your deck. And just taking that chip damage is annoying. I would have Torrentialed here, but I don't know. Maybe he knows about the alias and thinks he can get him to overcommit. Another Dust Tornado. Jesus. 3 Dust Tornadoes? I don't think you need 3 Dust Tornadoes. I'm going to be honest. I think the Flamvell deck just outright beats Hero Beat. I think this is probably one of your best matchups as well. Spy is just insane versus this deck. I don't think you need 3 Dust Tornadoes. I think you can get away with just 2. Or even 1. Hell. I don't think you need that much back row hate. I think it's pretty easy for the Flamvell deck to play through back row because of all your flip effects, all your spy removal, your Caiuses, Cyber Dragon forces shit, Flamvell Fire Dog forces shit, Rekindling forces stuff. Like, you're able to put up Stardust pretty easily. You have your own back row. Like, there's just so many ways for you to, like, take control of the game that I just don't think you need triple Dust Tornado. Like, I understand the desire to have something chainable and to spark, but then this situation happens where they have the monster stream and you just have a shitload of Dust Tornadoes. And that's going to happen a large percentage of the time. The time where you actually lose to the alias decks are the time where they have the monster stream and you don't. Most decks can outclass alias. Most decks can summon better monsters than alias. But if you run out of those monsters before they run out of alias, which is kind of their game plan, is just run you out of monsters. It's like a gadget deck in a sense, but like with less gadgets, and they're like slightly stronger. I don't know how to compare it, but that's kind of the vibe of Hero Beat. It plays a lot like gadgets, but instead of Smashing Ground, you have Gemini Spark, and then instead of Machina Fortress, you have Miracle Fusion. It's like a little bit more versatile, a little bit less inherently strong. So yeah, I don't know. Dust Tornado, probably don't need 3. Draws Caius, passes the turn back, draws Stratos. Stratos is going to get the alias. That's going to get a plus on the Torrential. Here comes Miracle Fusion. That's going to make Absolute 0. Hit for 25. Kind of getting lit up this game, I'm not going to lie. Gale, a little bit useful. It's going to be able to at least trade with the Absolute 0, but you know about double alias, you know about fucking Spark and shit, so yeah, you need something good here. You legit need something good. I'm not sure what you could get. It's Gravekeeper Spy off the top. End-phase double Dust, so the Dust's actually doing something. Deep Prison not going to cut it. Set 2, pass the turn. There's the alias. He said, fuck it. Mirror Force is gone. Torrential is gone. I have lethal. Let's go. All right. GBO gets to go first in game 3. And he opened up with Gravekeeper Spy, so pretty solid opening. I mean, you really can't complain about opening your FTK card versus this deck. And then on top of that, he also opened up with Descendant, which is something I was meaning to mention. I've noticed he hasn't drawn it a ton, and he's drawn Flamvell Magician only twice. But when you're playing this deck, you should basically expect to draw Descendant and Flamvell Magician together, or like 2 Magicians over the course of a match at least once. Statistically speaking, in 3 games, you'll draw 2 of your Garnets in your starting hand, like once, roughly. Ecol's going to hit Stratos. It's going to grab Alias. Stratos is going to attack. Spy's going to grab Spy. And now you're just big dominating, bro. This is some big domination. End-phase Dust. Huh. How do I feel about end-phase Dust? Well, I guess you don't want to get dust shooted. So, There's that. And he does have like 16 Dust Tornadoes in his deck, so it's not like you're not going to draw more of them. Hits Deep Prison, draws his own Deep Prison. Very, very nice. I think with this hand, you just pass, or you set Deep Prison and pass, but like you have infinite time. Like, what is he going to do? Literally, what is he going to do to out 2 Spies on his next turn? I don't think there's a single play in his deck that outs 2 Spies. Like, I literally don't even think there is. Oh, this is bad. Now you're forced to use a good removal spell on a shitty Stratos. What? What was the point of this? I don't get this at all. Now here you go, Descendant Pop. Because it's better. Either that or if you want to commit the hamster, then you can Raikou Pop. Raikou Pop can also hit on Rekindling. I guess he's going Raikou Pop instead of Descendant Pop. Makes kind of sense. He does hit a Flamvell, but not a Magician, so... No plays this turn unless he wants to get aggressive. BB aggressive. Maybe normal summon Descendants. Swing, 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 swing. How much is that? That's 4,100. I mean, like, that's... No, that's not 41. No, it is 4,100. That's a fuckload of damage. Hold up. I think normal summon Descendant attack is actually good. What is this? I mean, this isn't bad either. Getting the damage out of the Spy. Like, you're trading 1 Spy for 2,400 damage here, which... That's pretty good. I can't lie. He's got the Alias, attack the Hammy, grab the Raikou. That's an insane Torrential top deck for 2014 here. That's going to be real nice. You can just switch the Spies if you want to. You don't really have to do anything complicated here. Or you could do this, I mean. Try to hit. Mills 3. No Torrential use. Wow, that's crazy. Huh. I guess he still has the normal, so he doesn't want to, like, Torrential until he has to. And as it stands, none of these monsters can get over Alias. But you're, like, kind of stalemating until he finds a Magician. Then he can go, like, Magician Stardust. Play through your shit. Here comes Descendant, and then that's going to force the Torrential, I think. Yeah. Okay. Not the weirdest. Really good Torrential from 2014. That's, like, one of the nicest looking Torrentials I've seen in a while. Here comes Alias. I probably would have tried to kill this somehow. Maybe I would have set the Bottomless. I just don't think this deck is siding in Heavy Storm versus Flamvell. Drawing Space Typhoon, and we've kind of entered into the same exact zone we were in last time, where you have Space Typhoon, you have Dust Tornado, you have back row removal, and your opponent just doesn't have any more back row because you've removed all of it. Passes the turn back. Another Miracle is the draw. That could have been played, but yeah, he is playing around the Torrential, and I believe the Mirror Force that are still in. And in phase 2, sets the knock. Okay, here comes Space Typhoon Rekindling Caius, I'm assuming. Yeah. You have to do something, or else you're just going to die to this Alias. Hit for 24. Set the Bottomless. No setting of the Bottomless. Crazy. Okay, Miracle Fusion into Absolute 0. No Torrential use is greedy, but I respect it. It's going to run over the Caius. Set monster, set back up, pass. Normal Fire Dog. I don't know about that one. I think if you set Fire Dog, you almost always incentivize some type of summon. And then you can Torrential. And stabilize. Because, like, what is this deck setting? Snowman Eater? Yeah, it's like literally Snowman Eater. Or DD Warrior Lady. Why is attacking that with Fire Dog any good? I don't know. He's not even attacking it. Interesting. Yeah, I think if you set it, it would have encouraged him to summon further. But just using it as a life total buffer is kind of sus. Draw for turns. Mirror Force. Great draw. Is going to answer the Absolute 0. Attacks. Mirror Force. Set back row pass. Set right go pass. Set road pass. Raikou's going to flip. Pop the Honest. Mill 2 Magicians. Here comes Rekindling. That's going to get met with a Bottomless Trap Hole. Going to attack for lethal damage, but there's the Mirror Force. So At least forcing. The third Rekindling will also be a lethal top deck as well at this point. Sets back row. Sets Dust Tornado. Fucking Dust Tornado, man. E-Call, Bottomless, no Spark. Set Dust Tornado, pass. Still Miracle Fusion kind of dead. That is the weakness of this Hero Beat deck without the Diva, is that Miracle Fusion is usually pretty dead. Draws a Magician, this connects twice, and it wins the game, so probably don't want that to happen. Got a Deep Prison. Set Deep Prison, draw Mind Crush, draw Hamster, Hamster attacks. Actually don't hate this attack. It is forcing of a Deep Prison. That's pretty good. Draws Return, it's another Spark. Damn, dog. That's unfortunate. Here comes Dust Tornado. Here comes Dust Tornado. Did those 16 Dust Tornadoes actually pay off? 1400, 1400. Damn, they actually did. Crazy match. Even though it was only 2 games. Huge top deck war. And definitely showcasing the brickiness of Hero Beat. This deck is so goddamn clunky. Alright, next. His match against Best Yu-Gi-Oh! Player NA. You guys probably know Best Yu-Gi-Oh! Player NA. He's a really strong Zombies player. Pretty much exclusively plays Zombies. I don't think I've seen him play anything else. He's going first and he's got the nuts. He does play Future Fusion Mali as well as Stratos. So he can Future Fusion and make a turn 1 Stardust with Future Fusion, Dust Shoot, Bottomless Mirror Force. He's not losing this game. I'll just say that much. And then, like I said, you should just expect to draw Descendant Magicians. Just statistically speaking, there's 4 in your deck, so every other hand you should be opening with 1, more or less. Normal summons the Plague, and yeah, makes the Stardust. Set. Dust Shoot in the draw phase. It's Jover, dude. It's Jover. Just go next. Just go next. Just go next. Allure of Darkness. Banish the common zombie. You got a Pyramid Turtle. You got Rhoda for Greffer. I would probably try to spend that Rhoda for Greffer at some point. Just so it's out of the deck. Although he might have Stratos still too. He could search if he needs it. Sets the turtle, gets the spy, summons the fire dog, bottomless trap hole, GG. Here comes Absolute Zero, normal zombie master. That's all she wrote, man. It's just fucking Jover, man. Like, Future Fusion trap Dust Shoot, like, you couldn't stack a better hand. Yep, sets a monster, Rhoda, grab Stratos, effect search, grab Evil Guy. Zombie Master, bring out the Plague so you can synchro for game. So he does he have DD Crows? I don't even remember. I don't think he has DD Crows. I think he's just kind of fucked versus zombies, which is wild because you'd think Flamvell is good against zombies because the way Fire Dog lines up against the recruiters. But like besides literally that specific interaction, zombies is just so much better of a deck than Flamvell that it's like it's invalidating in a lot of ways. It's like, oh, you normal set Gravekeeper Spy? That's cute. I'll make Revived King Hades and summon Dark Armed and Book of Life, banish your Flamvell monster, and, oh, return for the game. You know what I mean? Like, just fucking, and you're sitting there with your Flamvell deck like, oh, normal set Descendant, Card Trooper, Common Card Trooper L, milling some power spells. Nothing great monster-wise. Shadow searches the evil guy. Attacks the troopy guy. It's going to be met with a Book of Moon. It's like the best value Stratos you could ask for. Search the evil guy, eat a Book of Moon, block an attack. I'm like, it's just fucking good. That is just a fucking good Stratos. You hear me? Double Gold Sark. So Best Yu-Gi-Oh! Player NA is really high on Gold Sark and Zombies, and I'm inclined to agree. There's just so many power cards you can search for that just give you a guaranteed win in 2 turns, and it's so easy to stall out 2 turns with Zombies because Pyramid Turtle and Spirit Reaper and all that shit, so I just think it's a fantastic deck building choice for him. He's like even tailored his sideboard around it with like 10 different 1-ups that he can just have access to off Gold Sark. Anyway, he gets lucky as shit, finally hits the Fire Dog, rekindlings it out, runs over the Stratos, grabs the Magician, attack, 3,300. Honestly, was it Stardust Pass? After you set 4, even fucking shit. Looks like there's going to be a set Greffer. Fire Dog is going to connect over that. And I think we're just going next. Yeah. So going into game 3. This matchup is really about like who gets locked up with more normal summons and falls behind first. And zombies just have less normal summons than Flamvell. And they have more ways to, like, convert bricked hands with hella normal summons into real hands where the game is actually being played. Draw for turn, sets alert. He could, or not sets alert, sets return, sorry. He could have set up for it. Like, he could have gone Rhoda for Greffer and then make the Stardust now. I don't hate that, but then you have the Greffer in play, and the Greffer risks into Fire Dog, and then you get into some awkward situations, so I think waiting is also totally fine. Sets Hammy, passes. Here comes Rhoda. This should be game. Let's see if we can figure it out. So the first step is Greffer, pitch, Mally, send, plague, duh. Then we go Mally and plague into, I'm assuming something strong, possibly Dark End, possibly Colossal. Let's go with Colossal. It's going to be 2,900 Colossal if we synchro with the Greffer. Actually more. Yeah, so we go, let's say we make Colossal Fighter, right? And then we return back Mally and Plague. Is that correct? Okay, so we have Mally, Plague, Colossal, Greffer. Synchro with Plague and Greffer. Into Bryonic. Bryonic pitch the Mizuki. Mizuki banish. Bring out Plague. Plague synchro. Is that 8,000? Gotta be, right? Additionally, you could even pitch special the Caius and like normal the Mizuki. So let's see how that looks. Pitch special with Caius. Or pitch special Greffer. Normal summon Mizuki. Pitch Mally, send Plague. Mally Plague into... I think it's functionally the same. But one, you have more cards in hand to bounce Gore's main phase 2. Yeah. I think this is the line, yeah. Stack for Plague, banish special. He synchros into Bryonic first. Interesting choice. I mean, it's the same thing either way. So he's going to bounce, return, synchro into Colossal, ring back, synchro into Dark End. And Dark End helps you play through cores. Stacking for Plague gets you to lethal. Let's see. Yeah, because that's 49 plus... The Colossal is actually lethal because it's 31. There are three warriors in the grave. So it's actually 49 plus 31, and that's game. He didn't need to stack for the Plague here, actually. That is a misplay. He just miscounted. Probably treating Malicious as a fiend. But Malicious is actually a warrior, and it makes your Colossus much stronger. So crazy shit from Best Yu-Gi-Oh! Player NA. I mean, just like a turn 2 kill off of the back of probably one of the best cards in the format, Return from the Different Dimension. Definitely. If not, yeah, I would place Return from the Different Dimension in my top 5 cards in the format, probably. I think it's just that good. Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy what it enables. So GGBO is going to drop to X and 2. Was it 5 and 2? Yeah, 5 and 2. So this was his first like actual loss. He had a game loss, of course, earlier. But yeah, when you face down like the real synchro decks with Flamvell, it's just like, holy shit, my deck is bad. It's like you're playing a Yugi Kaiba deck versus a modern deck. And then the last round in Swiss to make it into top 16 is versus Leumer. I had initially recorded this video yesterday, or tried to record it, but then I realized one match was missing halfway through the video. And I was like, maybe I'll not record it. But I came back to it because I think it'd be cool to reflect on these matches. Opening hand from GGBO. He wins the rock, paper, scissors again. Dude is a rock, paper, scissors machine. My goodness. Sets. Here comes Heavy Storm popping Gear Town. So it looks like it's some type of Gear Town deck. I'm curious to see what kind of Gear Town deck it is, actually. Let me look at the hand. Okay, so it's not a real deck. Here comes Ancient Gear Giltron. Attacks the Nimble Mega. Let's take a moment to process. He has my body as a shield in hand. Both these players are 5 and 2 right now. So the deck is legit, right? Like, the deck must be real. To go 5 and 2, your deck has to be at least decent. So let's suspend my disbelief for at least a minute and try to figure out exactly what is going on here. Why would you attack this set monster? Like, in what universe is that good for you? Like, what if it's just Raikou? Isn't that bad for you? Isn't it better to go Gear Town, sack for Caius, target the monster, then Heavy Storm, pop the second Gear Town, bring out the Giltron, hit for 54, and put your opponent on better fucking have it? I think that's better. I think that's better, because I feel like just swinging this into this is like the Heavy Storm didn't need to get used as a way to clear the back row. You could have traded my body as a shield with the back row. Anyway, moving forward. Just going to grab a Raikou. It's terraforming for Black Garden. You don't want to establish this Black Garden when your opponent has a Raikou and is playing the flip effect deck. Sets, activates Black Garden. You also don't want to activate this Black Garden when you have Caius in hand. Flip Raikou, target the back row. Smart targeting. Normal Gale, that's going to give him a token. Gale's going to have the Ancient Gear guy. You can just make Cataster, and yeah, the tokens are irrelevant at this point. Yeah, the Black Garden here was just not good. You don't need to have your opponent's attack when you have a 3,000 attack monster in play that can't be destroyed because you have my body as a shield. Yeah, I don't really fuck with this. I think this line was suboptimal. Anyway, set Solemn Judgment, pass the turn. Gonna go ahead and sack for Caius. It's just gonna get solemned. Draw for turn is Rekindling. Now you're probably looking to set your Raikou, try to set up for that type of thing. Tax the token, deals another 300. Surprised Leomer didn't switch the token to defense. There really was no reason not to do that. Sets the Raikou, passes, sets a Rekindling. I don't know why you'd be doing that. There's no reason to do this. What if you draw a Heavy Storm? You're going to want this in your hand. Dark Panther gets flipped. Sets back row. Flips Raikou, target the MST. Yeah, like, what? Yeah, I don't know. I think if you sack for Caius here, though, and target the Garden, he actually doesn't get the token. Because Garden... Oh, no, he does. Garden is non-turn player. Okay, yeah. No, he does, and it does have a Caius. If Caius was, like, turn player, then you could choose, I believe. But because it's non-turn player, it has to be Chain Link 2. Because turn player is Chain Link 1. Either way, this is still fine for you, like... Whatevs. Yeah, that's quite funny. Getting the Flamvell Magician pump because Ally of Justice is in play. Rare moment of this card actually having text. It might actually contribute to an OTK. Possibly. No, not quite. All right. Pretty strong. Alright, so this deck does a good job of opening double Gear Town. I mean, with my body as a shield, that should be pretty strong, right? And Heavy Storm. It's like he opened the exact same hand twice. What? Am I missing something here? Why would you need the second Black Garden? Isn't that just throwing away a card? Am I missing? What am I missing? I feel like this is a fever dream, guys. This video is like kind of trippy in a way. Why are you Typhooning that? Leave it in play. Summon Card Trooper. Mill 3. You have 1700 to his 800. You run over the token. Now he's locked under Black Garden 2. Never mind. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to me. Why did he do that? I don't... Alright, Mill 3. Card Trooper attacks. Gonna be 19. Set. Just set 1. Interesting. A little bit safe. Cautious. He's gonna Dust Tornado. Destroy the card. Then set the back row to make the Gear Town mistiming. Smart play from GBO. Smart play. I like that. That is actually a heads up play. I would not have thought of that. I would not have thought of that play. That is really good. That was a strong play. Solid game knowledge there. Just passes the turn. He's going to mill 3. He does hit a Flamvell, so he can make an 8-star here if he wanted to. Stardust plus Bottomless seems pretty good. I think that's a little bit of greed. I think you can summon the Hamster, rekindling back the Magician, and attack with everything, and just be like, I win next turn. Drawing the knock is funny, but yeah. Second Garden just to survive, but I mean, you're bleeding life points at this point. Sets Raikou, passes the turn back, still doesn't play into the heavy. I appreciate the patience. Terraforming the draw, it's going to find Gear Town. You have to set the Gear Town over and then Heavy Storm. But this just loses to the Raikou unless you don't attack it. I'm trying to think if there's a world where you sack it for Caius. Like you Caius, banish the Card Trooper. And then you have my body as a shield to negate the Raikou. I guess you just go for the damage, yeah. I mean, it's over. Oh, this is pointless. Yeah, why would you do this? You have my body as a shield. You know it's a Raikou, right? Well, it's either Raikou or Spy or whatever, but either way, it's just, you just set my body as a shield. I don't know. Trolling. And that's going to be the match. So 6 and 2 is going to put GGBO into top 16 of this tournament. Let's go ahead and check out his top 16 replay. Very hype. Finally loses the rock, paper, scissors. It's always how it goes, right? When you need to get a top 8. You've been winning the die roll all day. Anyway. Interesting decision. So we've got normal summon Shura, set D prison. Now we have GBO saying Flamvell beats Blackwing on camera earlier. I personally disagree. But let's see what he has to say about it. Let's take a look at his hand too. He's got the Dust Shoot. He's got the Charge of the Light Brigade. He's got Fire Dog, Magician, and Descendant. So like I said, once a match roughly, you're going to open double Garnet. And you just have to be ready for that. You have to be equipped for that. You have to be playing the cards to convert those cards. Allure, Mind Control, that type of stuff. That being said, why did he do this attack? What are his other plays? Well, if he charges for Raikou, let's say he charges for Raikou, right? Sets the Raikou, and he sets the Dust Shoot, he loses to Icarus. But if he normals the Fire Dog, he loses the Deep Prison, Bottomless, Mirror Force, and Solemn Judgment, and Kalut. So it's whether or not you want to lose to Icarus, or whether or not you want to lose to the rest of the deck. So, I'd probably take the gamble it's not an Icarus. Charge mills 3, finds the Raikou. Damn, that Fire Dog being gone is going to hurt. Fire the Dust Shoot, take the Kalut. There is a Whirlwind off the top. He's got Icarus, he's got Bottomless. He's going to go set 1, no attack, pass. What? Did I see that correctly? He just didn't attack? You have Icarus. Blizzard, what the fuck are you scared of? How is this guy in top 16? Oh my god. Alright, no. Maybe he's just tired. Oh my god. That's tilting to watch. Okay, Whirlwind, summon Bora, grab Kalut. Huh? Isn't it always attack with Bora? I guess it doesn't really matter. Well, he missed 1,800 damage. We're going to keep a tally of how much damage he missed. He missed 1,800. Passes the turn back. Set Spy. Set Mirror Force. Why didn't he set the Icarus? Didn't we know he didn't have Heavy Storm last turn? Am I missing something? If you had set the Icarus, then you could just Icarus this shit. I don't know. Anyway, here comes Kalut. Search Blizzy. Why would you not search Gale? Huh? Okay. Why would you attack? You have Icarus. Am I awake right now? What is it? What you finna do? I know what you finna do. You finna misplay and get rewarded. Time and time again. A tale as old as time. Sets back row. Card Troopers the normal summon. Okay. Mills 3. Okay. Attacks the Bora. Did he have a better play the Kalut turn? Hold up. I was so stun locked there for a second. We need to go back. Dueling Book needs a go back button. Holy shit. Okay, hold up. No, I think he missed lethal. I think he straight up missed lethal. Let's take a look at this again. Deprison, Charge Light Brigade, Mill 3. Grab Reiko. Sets. We saw this. This was the turn where he didn't attack for no fucking reason. Yeah. Well, what are you not... What? He was like... This is like reverse Dust Shoot guilt. It's like where you're so stun locked you got Dust Shooted, you like forget to play the game. Set Reiko pass. Alright, draw for turn is Bora. So, Whirlwind, normal Bora, search Kalut. That makes sense, right? So here... You always attack with Bora. If it's Spy or Hamster, then you can Shura plus Kalut over it afterwards. Like, it's no difference. It's only bad if it's like... I don't know. If it's Reiko, you get the damage, which I think is more important than... I don't know. Maybe it's Shura first. You're going to get the damage anyway if it's Reiko, because the Bora is going to connect directly. So, yeah, Mills 3, attack 17. All right. So this is what I was thinking of. Set Spy, set Mirror Force pass. Okay, he has double Kalut. His double Kalut, he has Blizzy. And he has a search for a value. So let's say he goes Blizzy, bring back Shura, search value. You can chain block Bottomless Trap Hole by going Blizzard Chainlink 2, Whirlwind Chainlink 1. Shura summon Chainlink 2, Whirlwind search happens, you get value. So your hand is Kalut, Icarus, value. Opponent's at 6,300. You pitch Icarus, pitch value, bounce the 2 cards to Brown. You make Brownic. If they have Bottomless, okay, they have Bottomless, you get fucking owned. But you bounce both cards. You attack for 23. And then you attack with Bora with double Kalut for game. Like, isn't that just missed lethal? Maybe he didn't want to do it into the back row. But like, I don't know. You win through so much. I guess you don't win through Bottomless Torrential. But you win through everything else. Maybe Book. But like, if Book is happening, then it'll be happening on the Blizzy. Summon the... yeah, he'll book the Blizzy for sure. And that way you at least get the free Shura in play for your Icarus attack. I think the play here is always normal summon Blizzy and try to go for the game shot. I think that's a missed game shot. Yeah, it is, yeah. Yeah, this is just a fucking terrible play. Searching another Blizzard that you're not even going to get an opportunity to use because the first Blizzard you play is lethal. It's just so bad. So searching the next Blizzard for the next game, bro. Oh my god. Why would you not Descendant and try to pop some shit? Like, what is this card trooper doing for you except running into a Kalut, I guess? Trying to set up Rekindling? Like, you gotta get so fucking lucky here for Rekindling to resolve, man. Swing into Bora. Yeah, I would have just gone for the Descendant, blow up the Black Whirlwind, maybe blow up one of the monsters. Definitely try to clear the Black Whirlwind. I mean, you're just dead here no matter what. Doesn't matter what you played. Could have even gone for a Flamvell Magician and tried to make Stardust. And just prayed there wasn't Oppression Deep Prison. And then Rekindling back. Maybe make Colossal. And then have Colossal Stardust with Mirror Force. I don't fucking know. Yeah. No, there's so much game shots happening here. This is also another game shot. I wonder if he misses it. Yeah, he does, yeah. Yeah, if he makes Brownic there with the defense position Shura, and he just bounces all three, that's actually a game shot through Gores because of the Icarus. Fucking crazy, man. That's fucking crazy. That's fucking crazy, man. I'd be so mad if I was GGBO. I'd be so tilted after this game. I'd be like, how did I... I'd be so mad. Yeah, I mean, the Blackwing deck is just more versatile than the Flamvell deck, and that's going to pay off in a lot of ways. And the power spell from Blackwings doesn't even lose to, like, the mid-ground play from Blackwing, or loses straight up to the mid-ground play of Blackwing Summon Blizzy. So, I think this matchup is actually quite bad. Brownic is going to bounce the Magician. Bayou's going to activate. How has this guy missed this much lethal? Like, I just don't understand. Like, he had 2 opportunities to do this for game. I wish there was a way GGBO could win this. There isn't, but I wish there was, you know? Oh, he drew so many Garnets. I'd be so mad. It just happens sometimes, though. Alright, he's got the Spy. Not bad, not bad. Sirocco. Gonna run to the Spy. Spy's gonna bring out a monster. Looks like it is gonna grab Descendant. Interesting. So setting back row. Kind of awkward into this, but you're probably gonna lose the Sirocco either way. So yeah. Descendant pop the back row. Synchro into Dark End Dragon. Interesting. Interesting use of Dark End Dragon. I possibly might have wanted to use Colossal Fighter instead. But if you use Colossal, then it leaves him with the Sirocco in play if he has Kalut. That being said, I don't think that's that much of an issue unless he has Blizzy for the Black Rose. This is the cleanest out. For sure. Gonna set 1 pass. Here comes the end phase Dust Tornado on the set Heavy Storm. Pretty poor set Heavy Storm there. But I guess, you know, what are you gonna do? Drop for turn is Fire Dog. That's big damage. Does he have a Flamvell? Did he just miss lethal as well? How much damage is this? No, not quite. No, he did. Yeah, no, he for sure did. Rekindling back the Magician, Synchro, rekindling back Fire Dog and Magician, attack for game. What is going on? Alright, they both played 8 rounds of Yu-Gi-Oh! They're both incredibly tired or something. I don't fully understand what's happening. This game has felt like a fever dream to watch. I guess he's gonna make Armed Wing with the brain control. And he's not going to attack because he needs the Icarus attack to be live. Okay. But then the Dark Hand forces, and he doesn't chain Icarus attack? What? Am I, like... What? Are you scared of Starlight Road? He's had one set the whole game, though. What? 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 Why didn't he Icarus attack? Am I like... I'm so confused. I feel like this replay is corrupted. Like someone hacked this match and sent it to me. That was satanic. Well, there's a Nobleman. That's a pretty good card. You do have the Flamvell Magician. No back row. Multiple Dust Tornadoes. Awkward. Draw is a Book of Moon. Dust Tornado. Draw for turn. There's that Allure of Darkness. Honestly, I'm just fucking Nobleman. Offer it. He's going to Allure first before Legacying. I guess you're probably always banishing the value anyway, because it doesn't look like he plays Greffer. At least I haven't seen it. It doesn't look like he plays Greffer, but he might play Greffer. I don't really know. Banishes Bora, normal summons Bora, knocks a monster after normal summoning to play around bottomless. It's going to get all Raikos out of the deck. Bora's going to attack. 1700 is going to be dealt. Okay. Now let's see. Can GGBO take over this situation? This situation should be a clear takeover, right? Unless what you finna do rip specifically Kalut off of Legacy of Yatagarasu, then GGBO should be able to take over this game very easily. All you have to do, this is all you have to do. Dust Tornado the back row, normal Fire Dog, attack. Don't book. Keep your book. Just risk it. Actually, do you book? Well, here's the thing. If they have Kalut, they're going to be able to kill your Stardust anyway if you spend the book. So it's better to gamble they don't have Kalut and they have something like Blizzard that you would need the Book of Moon for later. So while it is likely that they have Kalut, because they have a seventh of their deck or remaining deck in hand, and they have 3 Kalut, so I don't really know exactly the chances of having 3 Kalut in 5 of 35, but it's probably pretty high. It's probably like a 50-50. I would take that gamble. Obviously, I can see his hand, and obviously, I'm a gambling man, and you guys know that about me. But I think he's going to Book a Moon. Yeah, he is, yeah. See, I think this is bad, because while Book of Moon plays around Kalut in the short term, what happens here as a result is you're forced to make Colossal Fighter, which isn't, it's not the end of the world to make Colossal Fighter, but that means, like, you do lose to Blizzy. So, I think the issue here is that if you were able to make Stardust and keep the book, then you're in a winning position. You're playing to win the game instead of playing to not lose the game. Book of Moon is playing to not lose the game. But using the Book of Moon and then invalidating the Kalut right now in this moment doesn't matter, because the Kalut on the way back on his next turn will lose you the game, and you'll just be out the Book of Moon for no reason. So you'll just be praying, I guess, that you'll rip Rekindling off the top, which I think is a much worse gamble than just gambling he doesn't have Kalut. It's hard to evaluate these types of risky situations in game if you're not used to it, but in this circumstance, it's best to be like, okay, if he doesn't have Kalut, then I have Book of Moon, and that means if he has Blizzy or top decks the Kalut or whatever the fuck he does,
I have Stardust, and I have a piece of defense, and I can take over the game, and he won't be able to come back, and I'll be able to win. Whereas this, it's like, okay, I won't lose to Kalut immediately this turn, but on the turn coming back, I will still lose to that very same Kalut. So you lose to Kalut no matter what. So what you should do is you should take the risk that they don't have it and set up for the winning position in the off chance. Flamvell is going to bring out the other Flamvell, and Flamvell is going to make the Flamvell. He's going to make Stardust. See, this is a gigantic punt because Stardust loses to Blizzy and Kalut and Gale and Whirlwind shit and Sirocco Bora and everything. Once you've come to this situation, you have to make Colossal Fighter just because, like, you just lose to everything. Anyway. Here is the set. No M-Phase Dust Tornado is surprising. No attack is also surprising. Why would you not attack with the Flamvell Magician? I feel like you should summon the Flamvell Magician and attack. It's very clearly a set value. Yeah, I think it's very clearly summon Flamvell Magician, attack. You have no way to defend this Flamvell Magician anyway, so putting it into play in defense position is stupid. It's just throwing it away. You might as well attack and, like, try to get some value out of it. Like, try to force some action. Anyway, summons Ashura, attacks the set. Yeah, see? Like, this is not good. Makes Armor Master. And now because you didn't make Colossal Fighter, how the fuck you beat this? Fucking can't. I mean, you couldn't have beaten the Icarus attack with Colossal Fighter, but you get what I'm saying? If you had saved the book there, I think you could have made a chance at a comeback because you would have had that defense piece. Crucial defense piece with the Stardust. Stardust on its own is not good, but Stardust with defense is like a S tier threat. At this point in the game, because you don't have a way to kill the Armor Master, you could consider sacking your Caius to banish the Armor Master. Because you're going to, or sacking your Stardust, sorry. Because you're going to lose your Stardust anyway. There's another play you could make here where you could Dust Tornado and then negate your own Dust Tornado to blink your Stardust for another turn, but that's just bleeding card advantage. Draws another Dust Tornado, sets it, passes a turn back, flips the value. This plays into Mirror Force because you'll want the value in the grave. Pass the turn back, there's Torrential. Start battle phase. Dust, Chain Icarus, Chain Dust. Loses the Torrential, that's tough. Drops to 500. Sets. That's tough. Draws Spy, set Spy, M-Phase Icarus. Chain Typhoon, hit the back row as the deck dev. Why would he not deck dev or hit the monster? He had double Sirocco. I guess he has normal Sirocco and then special Silver Wind, but that doesn't win the game. This Bora here does win the game though, so I mean, yeah. Lucky draw. Crazy. I think that was a painful match to watch. I feel bad for GGBO. I think he had a decent tournament run. I think he made some errors, as everyone does in the tournament. I think there's a lot to learn from. I think he played well in a lot of instances. A lot of cool things that he did. The Dust Tornado. The powering up of the Flamvell Magician. Hold up, I gotta clear my throat. Sorry about that. And overall, like, I think it's a pretty impressive run. I mean, 6-3 is not amazing by any means, but 6-3 in tournament is a whole lot different from like 6-3 on ladder. Like 6-3 in tournament is like, okay, everyone was like fucking tryharding, you know? And ladder opponents, they're kind of a meme. You know what I mean? They're just kind of people who have too much free time. They're like tournament opponents. They're like people who take the game pretty seriously usually. Obviously not in this guy's case, but no disrespect, of course. No disrespect. He just played in a way that is not representative of the average top 16 player. But yeah, no. Thanks to GBO again for saving the replays and showing them to us. I think the Flamvell deck is interesting to some people. I personally find it to be a little slow. The rekindling stuff is hype, but it's very inconsistent, very difficult to streamline. I noticed in a lot of the games he was drawing the Descendant and the Magicians and too many normal summons, and the monsters just had no way of converting themselves. And then I also noticed he was just drawing too many Dust Tornadoes in a lot of matchups, particularly this last one here. Maybe something to consider would be cards that allow you to play into back row. Maybe Lila. Something that summons, pops back row, and mills. It fills 3 roles as opposed to just the singular role of Dust Tornado. And then possibly maybe something like Breaker the Magical Warrior, which can also make Dark End. These are 2 cards that I think pair very nicely with Flamvells. I think Lila is a natural inclusion in this deck, in my opinion. Yeah, so food for thought for GGBO if he's going to play this deck ever again. And congrats to him on his top at the Deck Devastators tournament. And if you guys want to have similarly fun tournament runs, don't forget to check out the RBETs coming up. And I'll see you guys at the YCS this weekend. Peace.